guys aware that we almost see no titties in movies anymore, and we only see tits? Hey, anyone notice this? Yes, I love titties. Big old titties.
What's up, you big old bitches? Welcome back. We got the legendary, the amazing BOOGIE2988. What's up, dude?
Hey guys, what's up? It's actually me, Francis. Boogie couldn't be here tonight. He's training for some boxes. He's moving boxes or something. I don't know what the hell's going on, but so I'm here tonight. What do you want to talk about? I just broke an Xbox today. Hi, how are you?
Dude, those videos were goated back in the day, man.
Right?
Yeah, I used to watch the hell out of those.
You know, I just did a bunch of collabs on my channel and also on the Kid Behind the Camera channel with my friend Mike. And, you know, I was like, oh, do you want me to do the Francis shtick? And he's like, yes, but no. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he said, number one, nobody's going to fall for that shtick anymore. We all know, right? We all know. Which never doubt how stupid people are. Some people do not know. Literally somebody on Twitter is like today, I've seen you scream at your wife. I'm like, no, you never have. Like, it's a comedy sketch. It's a video. It's a anyway. But he's like, I want you to be Francis, but lose the voice, lose the mannerisms. It's Boogie acting like Francis. And I'm like, okay, so that's what we've done. It was excellent, dude. And it's like believable. I think my acting's pretty good, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I thought it was real. Like when like back in the day, you're like flipping the damn, what was it? There was one that's like was my favorite. You were playing, I think you were playing Magic the Gathering.
Oh, yes, Magic.
You,
yeah.
Like, flipped the table and crushed.
I watch a lot of Magic content, and it's kind of nice because every once in a while I'll see that old clip surface in the Magic content, and I'm like, there I am, like a part of internet history. It makes me happy, you know.
Yeah, dude, it was wild as hell.
You know, actually, really funny. So we were at the game shop that night, and I wanted to set that up. And I'm like, the table flip meme was like really big on Reddit at the time. And I'm like, this could really go viral. So we set it up, and my friends are like, are you sure you want to put all these dice on the table? They're going to go everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, that's what makes it believable. That's what makes it funny. Like, I want to make the biggest mess possible. And they're like, I don't know if it's worth picking up all those dice if it doesn't go viral. I'm like, believe. You need to believe. If you don't believe, it's not going to happen. But boy, by God, it was worth picking up the dice because it worked. You know?
Yeah, dude. Speaking of like wondering if people will believe it, if you go on like Instagram or TikTok, which I usually only use Instagram really, and you slide through like the shorts and the reels and shit, half of them are just like, for example, I always see the workout, the gym shit because I work out and I watch those a lot. And it's half the time it's somebody like yelling at somebody over stealing weights or getting in their camera shot. And it's 100% fake all the time. It is never even kind of real. The acting's terrible. And everybody in the comments believe it. Every single person. So why not? Why not? You're muted, Boogie. You accidentally clicked the mute button on StreamYard. Oh. Maybe. There you go. Oh, now you're muted again. What the hell happened? Hold on.
It's okay. All right. It's my box. There's a cord that is.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna. Anyway, so there was a Super Bowl clip that went super viral. I even saw Keemstar retweet it.
Yeah.
And it was a dude, like it was a family party, and a guy like smashed his TV, and there were all the telltale signs of it being fake. The most obvious of which, it was a dirt sheet television, too small for the wall it was on, and it still had the sticker on it. They clearly bought it just to smash for this bit, and I like seeing Keemstar fall for that.
Dude, what? It's like doors in wrestling. You know how they always come through the door and it's like made out of freaking like millimeter plastic or something? They just like walk through the bitch.
yeah.
So damn strong. It's like, no, dude, the door is not strong at all. The door is not strong.
I think people want to believe. Does that make sense? Like you fool yourself more than you let anybody else fool you, right? You're like, oh, I want that story to be true. I want that rage to be true. I want whatever.
Yeah. And dude, it's wild as hell. Let me get this this super chat from Legal Vices.
Man.
He says, dude, you rock, brother. No, grow the hair chin back. Magnum prawn. Dude, I'm loving the mustache. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, dude. Samantha says, Cody, so excited about my gym membership. Signed up for Zoom class tomorrow and trainer Wednesday. Hell yeah, Samantha. Congratulations. And I'm glad you're still on the journey. And don't forget, Mav Dick says, Ashes of the Wake is goated. Dude, I was listening to that today when I was doing bench press. Freaking love Lamb of God. Squid, just a reminder, people thought the video of the kid running Thanksgiving was real, or ruining Thanksgiving, and the kid freaking out they couldn't play WoW. Oh, so yeah, that video where it's like mom canceled his WoW subscription or something, and he like takes the remote and he's trying to show it up his ass.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of real when I was younger.
Right up until he tried shoving the remote up his ass.
Then you're like, okay, this is a little weird.
But then I'm like, okay, all right, it's a bit.
Like, why would you want? Why is? I've never been so mad. I'm like, just put something in my ass right now. Like,
there was an old school thing that I still to this day wonder. It was called Tourette's guy. Have you ever heard of Tourette's guy?
Yeah.
Like, clearly, I think that was a bit, but like, it was such a good bit. I want it to be true.
Yeah.
Like, just like he's such a character, man.
Yeah, that one was real good. Dude, I remember that was the early days, the absolute early. And you've been on YouTube since I think
2006. Yeah. 2006.
Yeah. If you look at my account, I made my account in 2006, but I just never uploaded anything until like a few years ago. And that people that joined in 2006, there's like no one left. There's like 8 people.
Yeah. That's a lot of people are like, man, how do you get like 20,000 views on an account that has like 4 million subscribers? The answer is number one, my content's bad. But the second reason is also because a lot of the people that subscribed to me back in 2011, not only are their accounts dead, some of those people are dead, dude. It's been a decade. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
like a lot of them have grown up, moved on.
Decades, man.
Yeah, you think about that.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. Yeah, so a lot of them have died, and also the unfortunate truth is, especially when you look at channels that were like, there's channels that pop up for like a year and then die immediately, like Minecraft channels, and it's because, or Five Nights at Freddy's is a great example. There was a guy that hit 1 million subs like immediately from Five Nights at Freddy, and then the popularity for Five Nights at Freddy fell off.
Yep.
So his channel just died immediately.
Right. And like, how do you have to learn to adapt? You have to learn to pivot. You have to learn to do. I mean, I'm going to do anything. I'm going to get my jaw broken to stay relevant. That's
you gotta do that shit. I message Keemstar and I'm like, bro, put me in, coach.
Absolutely, 100%.
And
dude, you would be amazing. Who do you want to fight?
Shit, Keemstar. No, I don't know. Shit, I don't know, man. I don't know. I would fight anybody really. I don't care. I think it'd be fun. Be a fun experience.
Here's the thing about our boxing match. Okay, the reason it's happening is because how impossible it was. Like, it started off as just like a meme, like, oh, what if I got 2 400-pound guys to fight? But then like people reacted to that, and then me and Keemstar and are talking, and he's just like, dude, you're gonna have to pass medicals, you're gonna have to lose weight, you're gonna have to get into shape, you're gonna have to learn to box, you're gonna have to do all this stuff. And he's like, then we got to get your opponent to do that. Yeah. And I mean, beyond all expectations and reasons, it's actually happening in 12 days. It's happening in 2 weeks exactly, May 13th.
Damn, that is soon.
Yeah, it's so soon. It's so soon,
dude. So and have you been in contact with Wings?
A little bit. He is not a very personable person. You know me, I'm a people pleaser, and I wanted to like be friendly with him, and you know, he ain't having it, man. I think he genuinely believes that fame and fortune is on the backside of me, and he's going to have to go through me to get it. Yeah. Because that's how he's acting. He, like, I don't know. I'm going into this kind of like Apollo Creed, where I want to put on a good show. I want to have a good time. He's going into it like Rocky, where I'm just going to put this fool down.
I'm going to kill him.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's under the impression like the quicker he gets me down, the quicker he gets paid, the quicker he gets to get back home to his trailer, man. I don't know. You know,
he's really competitive. He's a real competitive motherfucker.
It's really surprising. It's really surprising. You know, I'm friends with everybody, dude. I'm friends with Keemstar. That's a hard person to be a friend to, you know? Yeah. And I thought for sure, like, me and Jordy on some level could be friendly, at least friendly, but that's not. Yeah, not gonna happen.
Yeah. So this is gonna be streamed on something like pay-per-view?
This is gonna be on the Happy Punch channel. I think also the Drama Alert channel. And it's free. It's like entirely free. He's going to upload the entire thing for free and live stream it for free. Yeah, it's Keemstar's putting together a production company called Happy Punch, and he's been doing it for a little while now. And this is an undercard thing for Misfits 7. So if you want to, you can pay for Misfits 7 and watch the entire boxing event. Maybe you should. But if you're only interested in watching me and Wings, our little shit show, then you can just watch that on the Drama Alert channel.
Man, so I've been watching you train and watching Wings train, the small amount of videos I could see.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that's like really worried, because we're not young men.
No, I'm 48. He's 37. I'm 48,
man. God, there's no telling what could happen.
You sound like both my doctor and my dentist. It took so much persuasion to convince them to sign off on this, and they both did it very reluctantly. But the reality of it is, I mean, we are boxing. This isn't WWE. This isn't a bit. This is an actual fight. I've never been in an actual fight. Now, I've trained with a few boxers. I'm training with a few more between now and when I leave for London. But I mean, my doctor's like, look, you get caught in the jaw wrong, you're going to break your jaw. You could lose those implants. That's $30,000 worth of implants. Jesus. Okay. You get hit in the chest wrong, you could have a stroke or a heart attack. You end up getting bruised up really bad. You get a blood clot that leads to a stroke or heart attack. You might not leave England, man. These are very real possibilities. And beyond even like the most dangerous, scary stuff like that, there's the stuff like my back is already a little bit injured. What if it gets way more injured? Stuff like that. So, but I went into this thing for three major reasons. Obviously, I'm getting paid, free trip to London, all that. All that's great, right? But I mean, everybody knows how much my purse is. It's $10K. And 10K is a good amount of money. I'm really glad to get it, but that's not risk your life money for most people. It's not risk your life money for me. But people have said, oh, this is like a desperate plea for clout and attention. Sure. Yeah. We are content creators. Like, why would I not do everything I can to garner clout and attention? Of course. It's my job.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I think I've had a beating coming to me for a while. And I think there's some people out there just want to see me get my ass beat. Is that
what you want? You're a masochist? You want to get slapped around?
I mean, I would rather win. I would rather knock his ass out and not even get hit. That would be my preference. But I think if I win this thing, I think there's going to be some people who are going to have some respect. And I certainly will earn my own self-respect by just getting in that ring, especially if I win the thing. But I think some people, the worst case scenarios is I get my ass handed to me. And a lot of people out there are like, all right, I'm done being mad at that guy. He got what I think he deserves or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's going to be very, very entertaining. And like, the thing is, people say that shit a lot. They'll be like, you're only doing this for this. I'll have a video pop off.
Yeah.
I had a video the other day or a few weeks ago where I was talking about Linus Tech Tips. And, my content's always been under going in the direction of workers' rights or just more workers' protections under the law. Just stuff like that I've always kind of believed in because I was in the workforce front lines for 13 years straight. So I'm like, this is how I feel. And people, dude, that video for some reason hit the algorithm, and they were pissed. They were because he has 16 million subs. They were in my comments tearing me in half, saying I'm only doing it for clout. I'm like, no, this is literally in line with my content. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't. Now I knew I would get a little bit of backlash, but I did not expect dude, I think it's got like 60% or 40% downvotes. So it's like 60-40.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's like the most I've ever gotten. Usually it's 98% always. And it was
I mean, I watch your content. Like, that is definitely in line with what you do and what you've talked about.
It's crazy. And I said in the video, I was like, dude, I have no ill will towards Linus. I don't know the whole story. He has good content. He's obviously successful and driven, but I'm just like outlining some stuff that I think that might be kind of fucked up. They don't give a damn about the disclaimer or the preface.
No,
like, what do you say about him? I'll kill you. The people on my DM saying they're going to kill my ass. I'm like, Jesus, man.
I mean, the reality of it is a lot of people that watch a YouTube video, they react to the thumbnail and the title. They don't even look at the content.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. And then you got people who they already have their opinion formed. You don't change minds and opinions for most people on the internet. They're just on here to like as a form of masturbation, reinforce the feelings and ideas that they already have, right?
Yep.
And so at the end of the day, there's just people like, oh my God, this guy's slightly challenging my worldviews. I have to double down and triple down and take it out on him in the comment section and on the like bar, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. People are just so fragile and sensitive these days. I used to think I was the most fragile and sensitive person in the world back in like 2015, 2017. Now everybody is just like a rage monster, and they're just like so ready to snap. And like, I mean, they're offended by the dumbest shit. Like, hey, you know, workers deserve rights. Hey, how dare you? I'm very, very conservative. I don't deserve any rights. You know, like that's weird, but you're very passionate about it.
People are just, they love to argue, man. It's something happened where people just love that shit. And I'm not into that. I've never been into that shit. So I've always thought that was weird as hell. And, but yeah, dude, speaking of that, I want to cover something real quick. Trent Westbrook, I love you, baby, by the way. I appreciate you, dude, so much. There's a good freaking beat. You guys went ham for just 2 seconds. Flux said, finally got rid of the beard. Finally decided to come out. Nice. Thank you, Flux. Love you, baby.
Billy had a real Freddie Mercury look, doesn't he? It's good.
Yes. Don't stop me. All right, Billy Hatcher, I love you. Haven't seen this boy in years. When did he move houses?
Did I move houses? Did I just rearrange my studio? Who knows? Who cares? It's just an internet backdrop.
Yeah, so my backdrop looks almost identical as my old one, and I'm in a completely different house. It's just, I bought a house and everything. Legal Vasa says, Boogie, just go fight DSP anyway, whether he wants to or not. There's nothing you can do. Dude, that would be a great one. Ashley, I love you, baby. Thank you for the locals tip as well. You're go-to to sell. She's too good to my ass. Russell says, enough of this. Naked snake time. It's coming, boys.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
And the big one, the pink boy, the first pink boy of the night is Disco Cobra. He says, hey, Cody and chat, you have Boogie on. I remember him from back in the day. Now I just hear people making memes of him like Kingstar and other channels. What was Boogie known for again? A lot of shit. A lot of shit.
Yeah, a lot of controversies.
Yeah,
I think originally like, hey guys, what's up? It's me, Francis. I would break shit at 600 pounds. And then like gaming news. And then like, you know, I was mostly famous just being a big fat fuck. That was the biggest.
What do you think about that? So let's say, like, for example, Nikocado Avocado. I've seen people in the comments and they'll say some shit that I don't really believe being, you know, so I was so involved in marketing shit when I was working for companies. And I feel like losing weight when your image is a certain way could be a death knell. Like, for example, Nikocado Avocado, people were like, he needs to lose weight and then really dive into his like violin content. And I'm like, he is not going to make $100,000 a month doing that shit.
No, absolutely not. Also, he's lost like 90 pounds in the last couple of months. He's killing it. He's killing it. He's doing so good.
There's a video of him from years ago and he's so little and thin. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was tiny. And then you know, his story is really interesting because for those who don't know it, he came onto the scene as like a vegan, making vegan content, and then, you know, got into the mukbang scene, and then the more he ate, the fatter he got. People started noticing, and that made him controversial. So he got fatter and fatter and fatter, and developed his character. For the record, if you have ever watched a Nikocado video, it's all character work. It's like a Francis thing. It's like that's not who he is. It's so bizarre that people think that's actually who he is. Like when he's crying on the mukbangs and shit, like all of that's character work. You have to be one of the most gullible people in the world to think Nikocado is that character. But anyway, he realized that he could make a few $1 million if he just kept doing what he was doing. And the question you have to stop and ask yourself is your health worth that kind of money? And the answer is, yes, there are people who risk their lives every day for $12 an hour. There's people out there who literally are working their back to the bone for under minimum wage. Like, of course it was. Of course it was. I think the reason people look at what he's doing so negatively, but they wouldn't look at a construction worker, a bridge worker, a road builder as negatively, is because they just don't like fat people, right? Yeah. I think at the end of the day, Nick took less of a risk than a guy who's constructing bridges or is the top of a fucking World Trade Center rebuilding it, you know? Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, I think it was a smart move, and now he's young enough. He hit 30. He's young enough to be able to lose the weight without doing too much permanent damage, if any. And congratulations, he'll be able to go to sleep on his pile of money, however much it is.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's a multimillionaire, but if you look at the numbers and you look at the clicks, you look at the views, he should be. He should be. Depends on how he spent his money.
I'd do it. Like if you were like, hey, Cody, I will give you $50 million. All you gotta do is gain 200 pounds over the next year. I would be like, I'm ordering the pizzas right now. Where do I sign? And then I would lose it after that.
I will tell you right now, if I knew it wouldn't kill me, but it would. It absolutely would. But if I knew I could be at the top of the game again by putting on all my weight, and I knew it wouldn't kill me, I would consider it. But I absolutely would. I'm trying to go the other way with it, though. I think a lot of people really, really want to see me lose as much weight as I can, get healthier and get fit. And,
that would probably have a similar effect.
Yeah, that's the plan. It's a struggle still.
Coming from such a high point and coming all the way down,
yeah.
will gain you a lot of respect regardless, and a lot of people interested in that journey.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, I would like to be able to see my penis while standing up again one day. So that would be fun.
Shit, I can't even do that. And I like
well, that's just because you have a shrinky ding down there.
I got the innie, you know.
Yeah, it's a little turtle head poking out, you know.
Yeah, when I take a piss, I have to tie a string around it to pull it out. Sucks.
Oh, dude, the other day I was taking a piss. True story. The other day I was taking a piss and I heard a clink. And I'm like, oh my God, did I just piss a kidney stone? What is happening? I looked down in the toilet. Dude, there was a tiny little bottle in the toilet. And I'm like, how did that happen? I pull it out of the water, and inside the bottle is a tiny little cork. And I take out the cork, and inside there's a tiny little note. And I read the note, and it says, "Dear Boogie, I miss you. Sincerely, your cock. P.S. Please send pussy." So I know he's down there somewhere. I just, I just don't know.
Shit.
So I hadn't seen him in so long. I was going to have him declared legally dead, if I'm being honest with you. But I just wanted to inherit my balls.
Girls say that shit too. I'll be hanging out with a new girl, that I've never hung out with, and we'll smash pissers and whatnot, and then she'll be like, oh, unprovokingly, she'll be like, you know what? I think your penis is really nice. I don't like the big ones; they hurt. And I'm like, oh, thanks. That's
wow.
a compliment.
Wow.
Let me just put this out there. Like, I'm glad your vagina was loose because I lasted longer. The tight ones hurt. She would have shit blood if I said that shit.
There's a video that went viral. This creator that I follow on TikTok, I think she follows me back too, but she made a video talking about like penis size. And like most women are comfortable with right around about 5 inches. And that's gonna max them out a lot of women. And some women can definitely take the 7. A lot of women can take the 8. And if you're packing that, but you'll hear from a lot of guys who are packing that where they're like, just some women just can't handle it. And so guys, if you're out there rocking between like 4 to 5 inches, you're doing just fine. Like statistically, you're going to do really well with most women. They're going to be very comfortable with that. And if you end up with a size queen, and they definitely exist, just pass her on down the line, man.
Dude, I had a girl.
That girl's for the streets, okay?
I've had girls say, yeah, the big ones hurt. And I've had other girls. So I used to work out with this girl, and she's a blonde girl. And she told me, she's like, yeah, if anybody, she swears by this. She's like, if any girls tell you they don't like they don't like big penises, they're lying. She was like, I had a dude with an 8-inch penis, and it was my favorite thing in the world. And I'm like, see, now I'm self-conscious again.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got a quarter of that shit.
I just want to believe the lie. If they are lying, I want to believe the lie. I wanted to. It's like it's not how you use your 2.5 inches. It's how you use it. Not that it's so shrinky. I mean, the point that I'm making is there's only so much I can do in bed. Here's why fat guys eat pussy. Can I say that on your live stream? Is that a thing I can do?
Yes.
Here's why fat guys eat pussy. 2 reasons. Number one, it's just like a trip to Arby's for me. I put some horsey sauce on it and I'm off to the races. Let's go. I mean, it's a free snack. Okay. The second reason fat guys eat pussy is because we have to. Look at us. Okay. We're not going to fuck a girl the way a normal, healthy guy can do, because if we do, we're going to crush her and she'll die. Okay. We have to give her an orgasm other ways. And I'll be honest with you, in the rare instance that a woman has ever come back to my house for anything other than money, I had to make sure that she was glad she showed up. I had to make sure that when she left, she was like, I was disgusted the whole time, but at least I finished. At least that. Right.
Yeah, dude.
I got to represent the fat guys. I got to make us look good.
I didn't even find out that was like my thing. Like, so I was hanging out with this girl, and you know, she was like looking like a snack because she was bent over. You know, she's like 115 pounds, work out every day. She was bent over on my bed, and her ass cheeks were huge. And I was like, oh my god! And I was kind of drunk, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna feast. So I just she's just laying there on her, and I'm just like going.
Are you eating booty? Are you eating booty?
I was kind of drunk, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I went up 2 inches, and I just started going ham. I was like, wow, I am in favor of this.
It is great. It's totally actually kind of great. Can I be absolutely disgusting?
Yes.
Do you want to know what my kink is?
What is your kink?
I don't think I've talked about this in all of my YouTube history. I'm a pleasure dom. Do you know what that is, Cody?
No.
I like to give a girl too much of a good thing. So picture a beautiful young lady tied to a bed, forced to have orgasms to the point that she's literally begging to stop. Using every means I have, whether it's toys, mouths, fingers, doesn't matter. Forced to have orgasms until she's literally screaming the safe word to get out of it. That's my kink. That's why I genuinely, I think that's why I've done as well with women as I have, even though I look like Jabba the fucking Hutt, is because when a woman comes back to my place, number one, they already know what they're in store for, which is dinner, free dinner. At the very least, we're eating sushi. We're eating good. But then also, you are about to get fucking wrecked.
But like you said the word forced a lot, but she would consent to this beforehand.
Right. Yeah. So like, okay. You know, right. Yeah. But again, there's keywords involved, right? And when you're absolutely actually done,
Oklahoma,
or you're actually done.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. Most women can handle it. Most of the women that have chosen to come home with me, which, so let's just be honest with you. That's a bad choice. You are not good at decision making. You just aren't. No. But but at least this one decision turned out well. No.
Dude, you got to think, being a woman. Now, look, I don't know about you, but like, I'm not a woman. But if I was to think, if I saw a bigger guy, because, you know, guys have to do the thing, right? Like, women can just lay there usually if they want to. They have that option.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I prefer them to be a little active, but if not, whatever. But guys have to do the thing. So you see a bigger dude, you got to know that dude is like, you got to compensate with the luncheon.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think, and I'll be honest with you, there's just some women out there who just want to fuck a teddy bear. Some of them just want to be like tossed around by like a big fat water bed, and just like, there's definitely women out there who look at this monstrous body of mine and are like, I want to be crushed by that for some reason. And thank God for those women, all 12 of you that exist in this world. If you are one of those women, thank you. Thank you from me and all the other fat guys. Thank you.
Thank you. From Boogie. Maps Go on the Wall says, my every couple months push for you to come drop some dollars to me at Fantasia on the South Park. Them class ladies would love to stash, dude. Totally. So Maps, great point. I went to the strip club the other day, and you know, the Pony 2, you said Fantasia. You're from where I am. So the Pony 2 over there off 72. Man, the girls look pretty good, especially the midnight string, the midnight shift girls. I was in there the other day and I was lit. I was like, oh, I was fucked up. And these girls, I had 2 girls with me that were just like gym girls. I was like, let's go to a strip club. It's a fun little event. And I had $200 of ones, and I just kept giving them to the girls that were with me, and they would go give it to the girls that they liked. And they kept coming over and they're like, hey, thanks for the tip, guys. And they're like, yeah. They're like, and then one girl was like, you want me to come home with you? And I'm like, no. I have 2 girls right here. They're cool. Yeah. I don't need a stripper lady. Now, although she's pretty hot though. But you know, that's like, I don't know. I might get something, you know, something I don't already have, you know?
Yeah. That's the problem with strip clubs. If I'm being honest with you, there's nothing wrong with sex work. I'm all about sex work. Hell, I participated in sex works, right? But at the same time, you got to be careful, man. You just got to be careful. You should always be careful. Doesn't matter if sex worker girl you pick up at the bar. Doesn't matter. You just got to be careful, man. You just wrap that rascal.
I'm trying to eat some ass, Boogie, and I don't. For some reason, the stripper, I don't know. Now I know her ass might smell cleaner because it's her job, But I feel like there's bacteria. I don't know. Dan Fear says, Cody sporting the Super Trooper mustache. Thank you, my friend. We do have a big one here. Real quick. Let me read Halo Millenniums. Dude, I watch your streams like every other night, man. Shout out to the Tiny Pissers hanging on and going strong. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Welcome to the club of the Tiny Pissers. And where is he? There it is. It's Patrick Williamson. Wow. Oh, my God. The man himself, son. Thank you so much, dude. I love you. I appreciate you. Your goat as hell. Your penis is definitely bigger than mine. Get on it, doggone it. So Patrick Williams says, great race, Cody, even if the results didn't go your way. We finished 8th, which is pretty decent. We had 200 less horsepower than the whole field. We're running kind of a test kind of filler engine. But in 2 weeks at Franklin, Virginia, if you guys are in Virginia, we'll have the new engine in the car. The car handles like a beast. We're gonna be a threat for a podium there. So make sure you come. Patrick Williamson, I love you, by the way. We are halfway to Naked Snake already. 2 pink boys in this damn show. 1 red boy from a rainbow knot already. Thank you, Patrick. Swift kiss to your penis, my friend. And I'm glad you said those things, those nice things. Pony 2 is too classy for me. Dude, it's pretty good. Come on now. They have the White Claw and shit. Yeah. They were out of liquor, though. And I was kind of wanting to drink some whiskey because I like to play pool and drink whiskey at the strip club. And my strip club's a little different. I don't know about the ones where you're near, Boogie, but mine, it's like really laid back. You can just walk in. There's like a pool. There's a bunch of pool tables. You can drink a little, play some pool, and hang out with your boys. And then there's like a small little window where you can kind of watch the show like on the other side of the building. Yeah. And then you can go walk over there and watch if you want. It's just really, really laid back. And no one really pressures you. I had that one blonde girl, but it's probably because the girls kept giving her money because she was real hot. So the girls I was with just kept going up and giving her money over and over, like probably over $100 in just tips. So she was probably like, fuck, I guess they want me to come home with them. So I get it.
Dude, I have a strip club. So there's a club here in town called Bottoms Up. Yeah. And it is full nude, non-alcoholic. Okay. Yeah. But number one, the sinks in the bathroom don't work. You can't wash your hands there. And they have not worked in 20 years. I know that because I've been going there every once in a while for across 20 years. Okay. Yeah. There's always 5 girls dancing. 1 is attractive. 2 are mid. 3 are ugly. And the 3 ugly ones are there to make the 2 mid girls look better. Okay. Yeah. But my favorite story, back in the day, I was shooting content to sell on the internet, mostly like R-rated stuff with a little bit of X, but nothing like it was just shooting photos, right? Swimsuit photos, bare photos, a little bit of, touching themselves photos, but it was really hard to sell this stuff even back then. We're talking like 99. So I would go to these clubs to meet the girls, pass out my card. Hey, you want to make $100 an hour? Come back to my place, shoot them, spend $250 the content, sell for a couple grand, make good money. So there was one girl that was always at that club, and her stage name was Cricket. And she was always pregnant. She only danced when she was pregnant.
She was just always pregnant, perpetually.
Now, you guys know I have implants. I still have more teeth right now than she did, which is two giant teeth, the top row and the bottom row. She had less teeth than that, and she was not an attractive woman by any stretch of the imagination. She was also like 4'10" and weighed like 90 pounds. So she was mostly baby when she was pregnant. It was like 90% baby. She would walk up to you smelling like dog shit and weed.
Oh my God.
She would put her pregnant belly on you. And then through her missing teeth, she would say, "Hey, there, you on the dance?" To which you would absolutely say no. And then she would not leave until you tipped her. Her entire bit was, I'm sure there's guys that were into that for whatever reason, but for everyone else, all the human beings who do not hate themselves and do not want to be harassed by a pregnant meth head, the deal was you give her $2, she leaves. You have to give her $2 and she'll leave you alone.
$2 is not bad.
She'll come back a couple hours later. Hey, baby, you changed your mind about that lap dance. I got No, I'm never going to change my mind, Cricket. Please stop. Hey, you want to shoot me? I'm pregnant. I bet that sells. No, I absolutely do not want to take photos of your meth mouth while your unborn child is in there. That's not a God. Yeah,
dude. there's only one pregnant lady at the place I went the other day, and she looked pretty good beside the baby bump, which is fine, whatever. Some dudes are into that, but dude, it's pretty classy. It's pretty classy, but it's not like Charlotte the Harlot back where I used to live. This lady would walk around in like a big t-shirt, and she looked like she was like 70, but she was like 30, meth mouthed, and she just asked you for money so she could buy underwear. She was so I worked at the GameStop there, and I would go out to my car after a shift or before a shift, and she'd be like, she'd knock on my window, and I'm like, God damn it. And then she'd be like, you have any money for underwear? And I'm like, no, you ask me this like once a week. What the hell, man? She just keeps asking me. Trav Beardsman, you'll never catch up now, brother. Lose the razor. Yeah, dude, I missed my face. I felt like I haven't seen my face in like a year. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to shave my face and just have a fat ass mustache and see what it looks like.
It looks so good. I'm just like so attracted to you right now.
Thank you. What about that dance? How much would you pay me for a dance, Boogie?
Oh, a face dance or like
both? Yeah, of course.
Like, can I ride your mustache? I would pay $1,000 for that.
If I survived it, man, I'm down.
I got good money coming with this fight coming up.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, let me ride your face. You'll probably die. It's for the record. Just so you know.
Shit up, for real.
Yeah, for real.
It's gonna be like that scene in The Boys where she gets on that dude's face and his head just explodes.
You ever see that movie Orgasmo?
Yeah,
such a good movie. You remember the big one when she comes in and like jumps on top of him, and it's gonna be that, except it's your face.
Jesus Christ. Thank you, Beardsman. I appreciate you. Did you see Gorlock the Destroyer chick on whatever podcast? My God, I didn't know BMI could reach such peace. Yeah, dude, I saw the edit where they made it Jabba's mouth or Jabba's voice when she's talked. Hilarious. God, that girl's big. That's the best. Well, actually, I think it was a trans woman, right? Regardless, big ass lady. And nothing against that. I'm not into it because I like girls that are in shape because I work out every day. So I'm like, I need you to work out every day, baby. But yeah, dude, she's big as hell. And she like had the Tammy Slayton face where her forehead was kind of big too. Like, how the hell do you get fat on your forehead?
Do you know what really pisses me off about being a fat guy?
What?
They always want to ship you with the fat girls, which is fine if you're into it, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm not into it for the major reason of I have a fucking eating disorder. Please don't let me date somebody who has the same eating disorder, okay? Number one, it's dangerous for us. We're going to reach 1,000 pounds, okay? Secondly, on top of that, we're going to destroy some small businesses. There's buffets out there we will put out of work, man. Don't let us do that. So I've always had a preference physically, but also just like compatibility wise. I like the petite women. And I also think it's really funny when I'm out with a petite girl, like 5'4", $120, just healthy, just normal, healthy, good looking girl. People are like, how is that possible? How is the fat guy with the skinny girl? How is that possible? Well, number one, money. That was probably a big part of it back in the day. But then secondly, also, it's cool. It's cool. And I don't know, some women just like to slum from time to time,
They like to, what do we call it? We call it a slam pig, right?
That's
what we call it. Yeah, when you see a girl that just looks like rough and you're like, man, for some reason I just want to dump loads in her. I don't know why. Something about biology, like a king, he has the queen, he has all the winches that are beautiful, and then for some reason though, he just wants to pess his ass, like just ruin the lady for some reason.
Right.
Just for like a day or two. You slap her around and shit. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. It's exactly
you like this bitch, get this car. I see it in your face.
I did have a girl once say to me, she's like, I'm worried about going out with you. And I'm like, well, why? And I'm like, oh, maybe it's because I'm a YouTuber, maybe because I'm older than her, maybe it's because I'm so heavy, one of those things. And she's like, I've given guys like you a chance before, and then like when you fuck the ugly guy, she didn't say exactly that, but this is what she meant. She's like, when you fuck the ugly guy, they lose their minds. They get a huge ego. They're like, look what I pulled. She said she literally had somebody break up with her to try to date one of her friends who was objectively hotter than her, because he's like, well, if I pulled her, then I could pull the next one, which, man, you create a monster. That's
the most damaging thing for a insecure, unattractive lady, is to make her dude confident at all, or make a dude confident, because a confident dude can conquer the world, man. As long as you're confident enough to like make changes, you're good to go.
100%. I like A confident woman is probably not going to do too great if you're not still attractive. An ugly dude who's confident, oh, we got power, man.
You do, yeah. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Now, this is a great point because at my last race before this one, I blew my engine. Like I was we were 20 laps into the race, my engine popped. So I'm like, well, fuck, I'm done forever. You know, because that's expensive. Those engines are real expensive. They high horsepower. So I was like, well, that sucks. But at the end of the second race, you know, I'm done. I was like, I'm gonna go and talk to every single team owner because I'm like, I gotta talk to these people, shake their hands, and just say my case. Just I'm trying to network. You know, I'm always something I've always liked to do. I don't like to leave without saying. I like to talk to every single team owner, team member. I like to talk to all these people. So I get to the Dodge guy, and I run a Dodge, and I shake his hand. I'm like, dude, blew my engine, sucks, but we'll be back hopefully in 2 months. And I asked him if he knew a Dodge engine builder so I can get my engine rebuilt because they're very proprietary engines.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I know a guy. And he's like, are you sticking with Dodge? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with Dodge. And he's like, oh, we'll just drive my car. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, just drive my car. And I was like, I don't believe him. I don't believe this is gonna actually happen, but that's cool. And then 2 weeks later, I'm in the damn car racing. Like, and he's like, yeah, you can just keep driving it. And I'm like, well, fuck, man. Like, and that's because I don't know if it's necessarily confidence, but I went and talked to every single one of these people, trying to, network and trying to say, meet all these people. Because a lot of people don't like to do that. They don't want to get on the phone. They don't want to talk to anybody. And that just, you can do a lot by just talking to people.
I mean, like if you're trying to do something crazy or wild or whatever, right? It's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle, right? But you're not going to catch lightning in a bottle if you don't go out in the fucking storm, boys. You got to get out there where lightning strikes. And if you I mean, like whatever you're looking for, it's probably not going to come into your mom's basement. You probably got to go out there and get it. And so you did it. You went out and got it, right?
Yeah. And it works the same way with women. There is girls at my gym, right? I go to a meathead gym. Like every dude's on steroids. That's just how it is. It's a big gym. Everybody, there's like 20 pro card dudes there. There's 5 pro card women there. And there's a lot of women. And there's not one woman in my gym. I guess because the other ones are insecure, but there's not one woman in my gym that doesn't look like a shit brick house. So, and it's been that way for years. And I'm like, damn, these girls are attractive. So usually what I would have done in my younger age is I would have just looked at them and not said anything. But I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Because I started hooking up with girls after my wife left on Tinder. And I would just like follow them. I'd be like, hey, what's your Instagram? And they'd tell me. I just walk up to them, ask them, and I'd message them later. And they would end up hanging out with me. And they were I guess they were not used to hanging out with dudes because they were just horniest chicks, and probably because they're on gear, increases their libido to the max.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh shit. So I just started hanging out with every girl. And I ended up, there was one point when I was like 28, 29, where I was like looking around the gym. I was at the gym working out. I looked around at every girl at the gym. It was like 5 or 6 girls. And I was like, fuck, I've hooked up with every one of these girls. And it's not weird for me. Some people are like, how do you do that? Isn't that weird? I'm like, no, not at all. I don't care. And it's just because I was confident enough to just talk to these people. And be yourself. Don't like if you walk up, if you think you're gonna fake the confidence and walk up and be like, huh, hey, and you're fucked. They'll see through that shit so fast.
But I'll tell you, obviously I'm going to the gym again now.
Yeah.
And I have been for a while. And I do not talk to women at the gym. I don't talk to anybody at the gym. I talk to whoever's working on my way in, on the way out. People will talk to me. And then if they do, like, we'll interact for a little while, but like, I do not have the confidence to walk up. But like at this convention I was at this last weekend, man, I talked to everybody. And my same autistic self, just like letting my freak flag fly and just like being fat and weird and goofy. That's the environment for me. And God, I met so many great people, had so many great experiences. And I often wonder, because everybody's so nice to me at my gym. It's ridiculous. They love to see the fat guy trying to get his shit together. They love it. There's a couple of other big guys, and they're all supporting. It's like, obviously the staff is super nice there. But on top of that, just all the customers, like they'll help you with the machines. They're like, hey, do you need any help? How you doing today, man? Hey, good job. Or like, oh, that was a good set. Like, people are so nice. Do you get that when you're skinny, or is it just because I'm fat? I'm getting people that nice.
So, very common misconception. Because I talk to people, people message me all the time. They're like, hey, can I have advice about working out? And dude, that's the biggest misconception in the fitness community. Bigger people think they're going to go to the gym and people will make fun of them. That is the complete opposite. Every bigger person that comes to the gym, people will flock to this person and be like, dude, we're so glad you're here. This is awesome. Let's work out. Let's do some shit. They will compliment you. One of my friends, Bob Dole, that's not his real name, but his screen name is Bob Dole. He's lost 90 pounds, and They put a freaking poster of his ass up and like social media post about him.
Wow.
And he was scared. He told me, he was like, I'm scared to go to the gym because I'm afraid they're gonna make fun of me and look at me. And I'm like, they won't, I promise you. And now he's like, dude, I don't know why I thought that. Everybody's like fist bumping me and cheering me on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a obviously there's probably a case or two where it has happened. But general consensus is they're gonna lift your ass up. Now you asked, do people do that when you're in shape? Absolutely not. That
Right.
I will say this. There was a blonde girl at my gym today, super attractive girl, and I was in her way, and she was like, "Excuse me," because she was moving a bench, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." And she was like, "I like your mustache," and I was like, "Thank you." So I got a compliment.
Right.
Thank God, but that's very rare.
Yeah. Well, I then be the fat guy at the gym. I will say that the thing that I think most people are scared of is that we're going to find like the one asshole, and that one asshole does exist. There will be that one gym bro who's like going to shit talk you or like film you out of the corner. Like that shit does happen. But are you going to let the other 900 awesome people you're going to meet, like you're going to skip that awesome experience just because you're afraid of one asshole? Don't live your life like that. Live your life in a way where you go embrace the other 900,000 wonderful people you'll meet.
It's also it's a very easy excuse when you actually don't want to put in the work. They're like, oh, well, they're gonna make fun of me, and I don't want to go. I don't like gyms. I don't like the atmosphere. I'm like, bitch, you never been to one. The hell you talking about? You don't like the atmosphere,
right? Yeah.
It's like my friend the other day. I invited one of my friends to the strip club, right? And it's not like Vegas. And I was like, hey, let's go. You want to go to the strip club or not? Super laid back. We can just play pool and drink and kind of like just have a good time. And they're like, I don't like strip clubs. And I'm like, have you ever been to a strip club? And they're like, no. And I'm like, the fuck? Like you don't even know what you're thinking about. Grand Theft Auto and movies. It's not like that. It is complete. Mine is super chill. You don't even have to talk to a stripper or even be close to one. You can just play pool and drink at the bar, or drink and play pool, play arcade games. That's what I do. You know,
I mean, that's the kind of like I wish we had a club like that because Dallas, Texas is full of them. And I used to go there in my youth. And if you want to, it's just a sports bar with a really pretty waitress. It's just a Hooters at that point.
Yeah.
You don't have to get involved with any of this. You don't have to go sit down on Pervert Row. You can just sit and eat wings or go to the fucking buffet and watch your sports on TV and drink. And I think back in the days, you could smoke cigars and stuff. And it was just a gentleman's club. That's what it was called and is what it was.
Yeah.
And then there was also sex workers over there if you wanted to experience it.
Oh, they're there. They're there.
Yeah, we have nothing like that here in town. It's like the clubs are all super small, and it's all about the stripper being in your lap 5 minutes after you get in. And it's just, I don't know.
There's 4 chairs and then there's cricket. That's all you get.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
That's all you get. Katie did a podcast, says you should grow a beard instead. I had a giant beard yesterday. I shaved it. You'd be handsome and badass. We look forward to having you in Franklin, Virginia. My dad raced there many times. Well, I hope you come out and see me. It's in 2 weeks from yesterday or 2 days ago. So come out and see me. I'll be in the yellow 38 car again, new engine. They'll have a meet and greet. You can come talk to me. We can take pictures. It'll be a lot of fun. Katie did a podcast. I love you. I appreciate you so much. Instigata, I said, Boogie, what's up? I love you, man. Instigata loves you, Boogie. Isn't that good?
Oh, man.
Billy Hatcher says, I've never been to a gym or a strip club. Well, stop being a bitch and start going to gyms and strip clubs. Be a man. That's what men do. Go to strip clubs. We get hassled by strippers to try to sell on your face for $200. It's a lot of fun. Just say no. All right, because you don't want your face to get rotted off. Thank you, Billy Hatcher. I love you. And XPS Gamer, epic crossover. Love this. Some of my favorite content. It's a crossover series of Boogie, Kid Behind the Camera, McJuggernuggets. Had me rolling. Hell yeah, XPS, dude.
Hey, XPS, me and Michael Kid Behind the Camera. We just hung out for like 2 weeks. We have content on both of our channels, and I think it's some of the coolest shit I've ever filmed. Yeah. There's a video that dropped today. I don't know if you watched it.
The one where you getting beat around by that one guy.
Right. And like, just like it was such a weird moment at that convention. Like every convention's great. You've been to them. We you know what I'm talking about. But this particular moment, like we're boxing and everybody's just goofing off and having fun, and all the Pokemon voice actors over here in the corner staring at me like I'm a crazy person. And like what I befriended Sarah Nana Chinny, like I can tell she's like, what the hell are they doing over there? But like somebody walks up with a guitar and he starts playing music as I'm like fake boxing and doing like a Cartman bit. It's like such magic, and I can't believe we caught that on video. And I'm hoping it's showing people like, I don't know, my physical changes, my mental changes, just like life is great, dude. I don't know if you know about this. I did so many psychedelics. I did an unreasonable amount of mushrooms, and it really changed me a lot.
Well, there you
A
go.
lot. I don't know. Have you messed with that stuff at all?
I've done edibles before and drank, but that's it. That's it. Speaking of that video you put out today, the guy that was punching you in the stomach, kind of hitting you a little.
Billy, yeah.
That's weird. I saw him and I was like, oh my god, me. I went to that guy's room like a year ago at some convention.
Yeah.
And I got like smashed in his room, and then this guy was like that was in the room was like a random dude. He wasn't even a content creator or anything, and he started like wanting to fight everybody. And that dude, that Billy guy, picked his ass up and threw him out of the room. It was great.
That sounds about
and
right.
I was messed up, and I was sitting on the couch like, what's happening? It was crazy. I'm like, damn,
that's just like classic game chaser shit. I'm telling you, 8-Bit Eric, Billy, Jay. Like I go to all of their conventions. Number one, because they invite me, obviously, but secondly, just because it's an opportunity to hang out with 3 of the weirdest motherfuckers I've ever met. Yeah. They are an absolute trip.
Hell yeah, dude.
I love the convention thing. Are you still doing the convention thing? Or are you just mostly racing and stuff?
Yeah, I'm doing. I'll be doing. I'm doing one Friday or Saturday, and it's like in my hometown, which is great.
Oh yeah.
It's called Game Jam South. They invited me to that like a few months ago, and I totally forgot. And they tagged me in a thing today, and I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta be there." And I should be doing the Southeast Game Exchange again. I don't know. It's the same people that run both conventions, so I'm assuming I'll be at that one too.
Yep.
I'll probably be at Tampa next month. I'll be at Montsuri in August, I think. That'll be a big one. So I try to go to all of them. I'm going to a little meetup in Japan in October, so that'll be a lot of fun too. But yeah, speaking of AP says new stock car, I'm racing for the Mopar Mafia team in the series right now. So it's not my car, but it is a new car. And Alanick says on Rumble, said ask Boogie if he's been approached by Rumble. Will he begin posting on Rumble? Would love to see him on Rumble. You ever thought about Rumble?
I don't know anything about Rumble. What is Rumble?
Rumble is a platform that's similar to YouTube. You can live stream on there. You can put your videos on there. I work with Rumble directly, and they are kick-ass. And it's the only other really site connected with locals that you can like make money on. Like legitimately make like decent money on.
I'm taking a look. It looks really nice.
It doesn't replace YouTube at all, like because you still need the YouTube monies. But no, speaking about that real quick, I wanted to cover this earlier and I totally forgot. You said that lower notifications, lower views, as time goes on, and I experienced that randomly. So sometimes I'll be having every video is popping off, and then I'm right now. In my opinion, and this sounds egotistical, and it's not, I don't mean to be, but I like my most recent video is easily, I feel like my best content I've ever released, easily. Mm-hmm. And the editing is amazing. It's all awesome. I have an editor, and he's a great dude. And it's just good. But dude, it is the recommendations. Even it doesn't even matter if I have a high click-through rate, which I always do.
Right.
I'll have 10, 11% first day, 8%, 9% the second day, which is great. And they just get 0 recommendations. And people are asking me, messaging me, sending me DMs. I'm not getting notifications. I'm not getting this. Yep. And look, these people want to watch the content. It's not like they're not wanting to. It's just they're not getting the notifications. And that's a big ass deal. And if it wasn't for streaming, and this is where I'll give a lot of people in the chat a bunch of credit. Anybody like people super chatting or their members or anything like that, or they're just watching the shit, really. Like if it wasn't for the streaming on YouTube and, the revenue that comes to that, I wouldn't be here. Because, dude, my ad revenue is like $900 a month. It's just brutal, and it just doesn't seem to matter. And I put out, and I'm demonetized, which is great. So I put out a video 2 days ago or yesterday, and it was live for like 10 hours, and 8 hours, and it was popping off. It was like my number one video, and I was like, thank God, And then all of a sudden, demonetized, and it said, YouTube struck it for being graphically too violent. And it is literally like 3 women in a McDonald's, and they're like lazily slapping at each other because they're out of sweet and sour sauce. It's a comedy video.
Right.
And I look up their terms of service, and the graphic violence is like severed limbs or extreme amounts of blood. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I appealed it, and within like 30 seconds, they said, we manually reviewed it, and we have rejected your appeal. And
Which
I'm like,
they absolutely do not manually review. Yeah, of course.
Then on Twitter, they tweeted at me because I posted about it, and they were like, it looks like you haven't appealed the video yet. And I'm like, you already rejected the video. What the fuck? So if it wasn't for people in the chat, super chats, memberships, locals, Rumble, if it wasn't for those people, I would be fucked. Basically, what they do is they make it to where if YouTube wants to kill you off, you can survive if people actually truly like want to.
110%. What do you think? That's what my e-begging thing was that I went viral for, and like last September, you know, like obviously I did lose some money in crypto, and people really focused on that aspect of it. But what I was basically saying is like, look, I've been demonetized this whole fucking time since like 2014. All these Francis videos that went viral, I never made the kind of money y'all think I made off of them. I've been making my best content lately. I would love it if people would check out the memberships and shit like that. If I don't write this ship in the next few months, I might run the risk of like having to sell my house and like do some shit and like really reorganize my life. And I want to stay a content creator, right? And thank God for the people that chose to help, and thank God for the people that chose to use $1.99 a month on my channel, or the people that come by the live stream and stuff. They make or break it, because there's no way my AdSense revenue off the million views I get in a month, and most people, if they were getting 1 million views on YouTube a month, they would be set.
Yeah.
That doesn't even cover my mortgage, man. And my mortgage ain't that high. My mortgage is $2,000.
Yeah.
All right. So like, if it wasn't for people choosing to support me, support the channel, yeah, we would all be fucked. And that's, YouTube is just a horribly broken website at this point. It's horrendously broken.
It's to the point now where you'll see videos and I gotta preface this with this. I've never asked anybody for super chats, anything like that, and I never will. Like these people choose to support me because, well, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know why, but I love you. I appreciate you guys. But you'll see videos, man, that are getting pushed to me, and I'm not subscribed to them, which is 99% of the shit I see on my front page.
Of course, yeah.
It's like Minecraft playthrough or something else goofy, and it has like this creator is getting like 2 million views per video, and it's the most unwatchable shit possible. And I'm like, how is this happening? And people that just, it's like low effort content. Some people are putting out like 6 videos a day, and it's like the algorithm starts to prefer that, and it gets to the point where I'm like, man, I don't even know if I love making videos. It's my favorite thing. Love making videos, but I finally was proud of one. Even though it wasn't blowing up real good, but it was, it hit, 7,000 views within like an hour or two. And I was like, oh shit, this is good. I was like, maybe it's going to take off. And then it demonetized, and it just completely demoralizes me. I'm like, well, why am I even doing this shit?
Yeah. That's classic YouTube, baby.
Yeah. It's outrageous. And, speaking of stuff like that, and there's stuff, I think, here's what I think, leaning into things. So people will do that. Dude, I get called an e-beggar all the time just because people choose to support me. Like, I don't ask for anything. And I'll see that shit every day. If I go on a show, by the way, which I'll be on Friday Night Tots Friday, by the way, everybody. Be on Friday Night Tots Friday. It's gonna be an awesome show, so don't miss that shit. But I'll be on shows like that, and people will super chat, be like, why do you have this e-beggar on? And I'm like, fuck, I've never asked for money. What the fuck's going on? So that people just say it, and I think it becomes to a point, because I had a guy that like got me swatted. He hated my ass. He tried contacting my family, my friends, he contacted my parents. They never responded, but he contacted my parents, and he said he claimed that he was acting like he was a woman on Facebook. He's like a 38-year-old dude that lives in Australia, but he contacted my parents and claimed to be like a 40-year-old woman, and claimed that I was messaging their like 13-year-old daughter trying to have sex with her.
Jesus Christ.
Just trying to like make it look like I was a psycho. And when that didn't work, he messaged my ex-wife and like asked, for some reason thought, because he's kind of dumb. So he thinks that if you get a divorce, it's always negative, which it was negative in my mind, a little bit, but I don't hate her. She doesn't hate me. We're friendly.
Right. Yeah.
So he messaged her and was like, how was your relationship with Cody? Like, what happened? And she was like, why the hell is you messaging me? Why is some random ass lady messaging me? Can you leave me the F alone? And he took that shit and put it into one of those programs where you can like make custom messages on Facebook.
Yeah.
And made her response to say, oh, I've just always chose to not talk about this, but basically put a paragraph under it, like as if she would respond to a random ass dude.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And made it look like I beat her and shit. And he put it on Twitter. So I messaged her. or actually, I think she messaged me. And she was like, yeah, some weird person just messaged me asking me about you. And she's like, here's a screenshot of what they said. And she told him to F off. So I took a screenshot of it and I posted it on his Twitter as a reply. And he deleted the tweet immediately because he got fucking found out. He's trying.
Of course, yeah.
So I talked to him through email to make the story a little bit shorter. I talked to him through email. And I was like, why exactly? Like, look, I don't hate you or anything. I think it's a little weird, but why are you doing this? Like, what is it? What do you? And he's like, well, you don't deserve to make money. And I'm like, okay, well, I get that. And I know there's a certain subset of people that are against YouTube or any content creator being monetized. Like they don't like it. Like they think it's dishonorable to make money off of your work, which is totally fine. Whatever. It's a weird viewpoint in my opinion, but whatever. And I was like, okay, so you're against monetization. I get that. And he's like, no, like I deserve to be monetized, but you don't deserve to be monetized. He's like, because I speak the truth. And I'm like, didn't you literally forge messages and get me sworn? What the fuck? Yeah. You don't understand what the truth is. And it's because they tell themselves, like they will tell themselves, well, he's a bad person, therefore he probably did beat his ex-wife. So I'm just gonna self-fulfilling prophecy, make it happen. So it looks like you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm releasing the truth. Now I did make this up, but he probably did beat his ex-wife. He's a bad person. I hate him. You know, and that's what these people think. And he eventually got me swatted, got the FBI involved, and YouTube came down on him and he deleted everything, every channel he owned, everything, and he disappeared forever. Now he does pop up every once in a while on a new account, and he'll say the same shit he said 3 years ago that no one cares about. Like, real quick, I made a GoFundMe because I wrecked at Daytona a few years ago, and I was like, I guess I'm done racing. It's just too expensive. And one of my buddies and my dad was like, fuck it, dude, make a GoFundMe. Like, fuck it. Who cares? Like, if people want to support you, let them support you. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. So I made one and it got funded in 2 days. And it was like $11,000. And I was like, all right, cool. So I got my car fixed and I was like, anything extra past how much it cost, I'll put towards my brakes on my car because my brakes were shit.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies, he donated like some money to it and said, get your brakes was the sub like message under it. And I was like, awesome. And that dude for years goes back to that and it's like, why did you steal money to fix your car? And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean steal money? Like, God damn it. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's so silly. And I'm like, dude, people choose to support. They don't have to. And the fact that they do, I'm still blown away every damn time. Every time I hit Naked Snake, every time I hit Fight Milk, I'm like, I can't believe this should happen. I get off my stream and I'm excited. I go hug my dog, kiss him on the face, fall down the stairs. Twice that happened. Broke my pinky in half because I fell down the stairs because I had such a good damn stream. Like, it was like, I was like, damn, this is a great stream. Ran down the stairs, fell down the stairs, and I was like, oh wow, I'm fine. I didn't get hurt. And I look at my pinky and it's pointing the other way. And I was like, so I held my breath and I snapped it back into place. But you know, it's crazy. I can't believe people do it. And there are people out there like DSP that's like, I'm gonna end the stream if you don't give me $100. Fuck y'all. And I get that. That's a little shitty. It's a little shady. I totally get it. But to call anybody that makes any kind of revenue on YouTube an eBay, I mean, there's people that make $20 million a month on YouTube, and they're not called years.
And like, think about this: Logan Paul, Jake Paul, they're multi-millionaires. They're set for life. People still donate to them. People still give them money. Why, if you're going to be mad, why would you be mad at Camelot making the amount of money he makes when Logan Paul is selling millions of dollars worth of merch? Logan Paul is a multi-millionaire, owns several small businesses, and is still letting people donate money to him.
Yeah.
That's where you should be mad if you want to be mad at anybody. You shouldn't be mad at that either. If a person wants to spend their money, let them spend it however the hell they want to. If they want to give it to me, if they want to give it to a homeless guy, if they want to give it to a multi-millionaire, that's their prerogative. They worked for that money. It's their money. They can do whatever the hell they want to with it.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think is really crazy is not wanting a YouTuber to be monetized. I make a thing. I create a thing. Do you like the thing? Here, I'm giving it to you for free. Do you like the thing? If you do, you can give me something. How is that a bad person? How's that a bad guy? When you talk about, I was dealing with this shit on Twitter today, but like you went through a divorce, right? And divorces are not always bad. Me and my ex-wife, we fell out of love. My job, my body, my life, her situation just basically killed the love that was between us. There was no abuse. Nobody screamed at each other. Nobody hit anybody. None of this shit happened. We just didn't like it. I mean, every relationship, the end game kind of sucks.
It does.
But it certainly wasn't abusive or anything in that neighborhood. People need it to be for so bad. Like I was dealing with that today. Like They're like, I've seen video of you screaming at your wife. Dude, that was a Francis character. That was a bit we were acting. It was a comedy sketch. You like you're so desperate for that. My ex-wife has like literally come out and said, this shit never happened. Doesn't matter. They need it to happen. Just so fucking bizarre. And what you were dealing with this dude is just a mentally unhappy, mentally imbalanced person who's decided to take that shit out on you. And I don't understand. This is what I never understand. I have never thought to try to tear down another person.
Yeah.
I mean, like Wings of Redemption, don't get me wrong. I want to do what I have to do in the ring, but I've never thought I'm going to tear down somebody else. I just want to build myself up. And if I can build somebody else up in the process, I'm glad to do it. I just spend your time. If you're mad about YouTubers making money, if you're mad at other people, just work on your own shit. Don't spend your time trying to take down somebody else. That ain't going to fix it. That ain't going to fix your situation. Work on your situation. Get your shit together.
I've said that for years. And I'm like, with the amount of effort that some of these people put in to like trolling, getting people swatted, forging messages, doing all, the amount of effort some of these people do, like following these people around, following their every single step.
Yeah.
You could probably be pretty successful as a content creator if you put that much energy in, but for some reason they don't. It's really weird. It's the crabs in a bucket thing. And I want to cover something here in a second after I read these. They just keep popping off. Monkey Man says it's going to be 36 in 2 days. Here's to another year around the sun. Thank you, Monkey Man. And I'm glad, dude, Monkey Man, by the way, keep it up at the gym, bud. I love you, dude. Gotcha Son says, here's $2 towards Naked Snake. Thank you so much. Patrick T says, I don't deserve to be monetized because I'm too damn pretty. Max was a nightmare. My child got used like a pawn, bruh. Used like a pawn. Damn, son. I'm sorry to hear that, Patrick. I love you, dude. Thank you for the orange boy. Patrick's going fire as hell. No, not even, he didn't even mention Mary Antoinette. Karis, speaking of my boy, my breaks boy, that goofball tried and failed for years to ruin you. Laughs and success. Thank you, Karis. I love you and I appreciate you. But something I've been kind of wanting to ask you. So have you like kind of like learned, and I feel like because I've followed you on Twitter for years, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like at some points when people would like troll, like what I do is I lean into the shit hard. And I feel like you did the opposite. Like you would argue with them and it kind of fed it and people would just freak the fuck out. Like, have you learned like to be like not as.
So my biggest issue pre-psychedelics, and I still fall back into it a little bit now, is I genuinely care about like the person that on the other end of that Twitter. And if that guy genuinely believes I did the thing that he's mad about, that I asked somebody to give me his last dollar, obviously I didn't fucking do that. Or you beat your ex-wife, obviously I didn't do that, right? But there's people, I don't want to live in a world where a guy thinks I'm out there trying to cheat people out of their last dollar while beating my wife, right? And like, I want to fix it. I want to fix it for that person. Because number one, they're living in a false reality. That has to suck. And then on top of that, it scares me and hurts me because I'm a people pleaser. And so I would try to fix it all the time. But Keemstar taught me, experience taught me that you just make it worse by ever acknowledging it, ever talking about it, right? Like you're giving your platform to them. And I did that over and over and over again. But it was so important to me. It was so that person in my mind is like living in pain. That person is living in a false reality. That person is hurt by a thing that they made up in their own fucking head. And I can fix it by showing them the reality. And I want to. Now post psychedelics, I realized that I just got to worry about me. That's it. I'm just going to worry about me. I'll help people when I can, but you can't help that person. That person's being purposely obtuse. Maybe they're trolling. Maybe they're lying to themselves. Maybe they're fooling themselves. Maybe for some reason they need me to be a wife-beating dollar stealer. I don't know. Right? But like, I can't help that person. And it's not my job to help that person. My job right now is to help myself and get myself out of this mess I've made out of my life and fix my fucking body and fix my fucking brain. And along that road, if I have someone who I can help a little bit, I'll help them, you know? But I think the best thing I can do to help anybody these days is not interacting with some asshole on Twitter. Yeah. The best thing I can do is get my shit together and show people that it can be done. And if I can get my shit together, then they know they can get their shit together, even though my situation is dire and has been dire for years, right? 48 years old, morbidly obese, ruined my own fucking career. Now I'm stepping in the ring for clout and for also the excuse to just get better, Just it's been an excuse to exercise. It's been an excuse to get with my doctor and work on shit. It's been an excuse to try again. And it's been an excuse to make content again. Like, it's a good excuse to do shit. But I think at the end of the day, you just can't engage with those people because they are quite unfortunately delusional. They live in a fake reality. They live in a reality where Boogie's the bad guy, and they need that for whatever reason. And then no matter how much truth you show them, like literally yesterday, I sent several people the tweet where my ex-wife said, "No abuse took place. You people are fucking idiots." Basically is what she said. Yeah. They don't care. They don't care. Now, maybe I paid her to say it. Maybe I forced her to say it. Maybe I threatened her, maybe whatever, but they gotta, it's sad, man. It's fucking sad. It's sad that people live like that. It's sad that those people exist, but it is what it is.
What happened was, I'll speak to your situation and kind of speak to mine. So I worked retail for 13 years. When you work retail, you're getting your ass lit up by almost every customer every other day. So you learn to like deal with those negative interactions really, really well. And I feel like that prepared me for YouTube. And I say some spicy shit. So people would watch my videos where I'm very tame, because it's a fucking video. I'm talking about a certain subject matter. Mm-hmm. And I had some spicy jokes, but whatever. But then they would watch my stream and I'd be like talking about like smashing pissers, blah, blah, blah. And they'd be like, I can't believe you're locked this unsubbed. And that's fine. It's fine. But the issue is I would never apologize for that. And for example, there was one time it was crazy as fuck. I laughed so hard when this happened, but everybody was pissed. So I was watching. I think I wasn't watching the stream. I watched you play WoW Classic a little bit back. Oh yeah. But there was one clip one time where you said your haters were worse than Nazis, and I know what you were saying.
Right? Yeah, it was like number one. That was the middle of a fucking complete mental break. I've never really talked about how bad that mental break was, but dude, I was completely delusional. I was gone. Yeah. Like I had gone so far off the deep end. The end of 2019 was a classic. Looking back on it, I can see it, but at the time I couldn't because I was experiencing it. And when you're crazy, you don't know you're crazy. But that was like the beginning of a huge mental break. But what I was literally saying was, you people literally wake up every day and say, how much damage can I do to people? And how much damage can I do to this random fucking stranger? And so I said, you guys are worse than fucking Nazis because at least Nazis believed in what they're doing, and like that's obvious hyperbole, but I said that shit.
Yeah.
And you can't say that shit, but I'm glad you knew where I was coming from.
Yeah. When I saw it, I remember because I saw it happen, play out. And I remember saying to myself, I was like, ooh, that's fucked up. Mm-hmm. And I like laughed a little because, dude, it's all jokes for me. And I was like, well, my point was when you say some fucked up shit, which I do it all the time, man. I just stand by the shit. I'm like, you know what? I said it and I'm going to say it again, bitch, eat my ass. And then because people want the moral high ground. So they're like, you are evil, apologize. And if you apologize, you're groveling and they make fun of you for it. It's kind of like how like that bully in school bend you over and like clap your ass cheeks. And then like after he's finished, call you like gay. Oh, you're gay. And then run out. I'm like, wait, you raped me. Like, hold on a second. So like, that's the point is like, if you apologize, they're like, haha, yeah, you bitch, F off. But if you say, I don't eat my ass, I think you a Nazi too, bitch. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, fuck, I guess, yeah, you're just a bad person. I'm like, yes, I am. And they're like, oh, okay, well, have a good day. Yeah. Just like lean into it. But dude, that was a wild one. Cause I remember watching it and I was like, oh, Boogie's fucked now. Should have said that one.
Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah, that was a banger of all the stupid things I've ever done. Maybe not as stupid as pulling a gun on a dude that was harassing me. That was probably not the smartest thing I ever did either.
I thought that was badass when you fired it in the air. I thought I was cheering. I was like, oh yeah, get something. Now I'm from Alabama though.
I mean, I'll just be honest with you. Like, I hate that I risk somebody else's life, right? Like that bullet could have come down and could have hurt somebody, and thank God it didn't. And I paid the price for that. I, pled guilty and then I paid the penalty and paid the money and out 27 grand and legal fees and fines and everything else. And now that shit's on my record till I die. And that's just the reality of it. It sucks, but it is what it is. But do I regret defending my home? No. Do I regret telling that guy to get the fuck off my property? No. Do I regret showing him that it was a real gun so he'd fucking leave? No. That's why I fired the warning shot, because he didn't think the gun was real. So I made sure he fucking knew. Don't come to somebody's house. Don't be on somebody's fucking property. Don't fucking threaten to rape them. That guy is like, I'm going to take you in the house and fuck you up the ass. I'm going to fucking ruin your life. Right? Like, I'll tell you the craziest thing about that, this to this day fucks with me, dude. Okay? Out of all the things he called me, and he called me every name in the book, he kept calling me homosexual slurs, F-A-G. He kept calling me that one, you know. We're you on YouTube. We got to be careful. But he called me that over and over and again, okay? And that kind of makes sense because I might secretly be gay. I might wake up in the morning and suck a dick. He doesn't know that, right? Yeah. but as he was leaving, he said, "Go fuck yourself, N-word." Now, I can wake up and suck a dick. I can't wake up black.
Yeah.
Why did he call me the N-word? That's so weird to me. That to this day is like the craziest thing that happened doing all of that.
Yeah.
Like, I am clearly not a black person. I don't. It's so weird, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, so me being from Alabama, I was totally in favor of the gun thing. So, but dude, if somebody came in my house, so I got 12 gauges and shit, dude, I would not hesitate. I'd blow somebody in half. And I think it's because this is what I think. This is how I think how I think things played out the way they did. The majority of your audience that was watching your, game news and other things, of course.
Yeah.
Had this idea of you, and the same shit happened to me. They're like, "Oh, you are for workers' rights, Cody. That means you're a violent leftist, right?" And I'm like, "Not even close. I'm like, I'm in the center. I don't want to pay taxes ever again." And they're like, "Oh wow, I hate you. I can't believe you're like this." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "That's the point. Is they have this idea of you, but if you just lean into it and tell them to eat your ass, then they're like, oh, okay, well, I can't do anything about it." Now, I had a guy once. He commented some pretty hateful shit. I've never really cared about that stuff. No wonder your wife left you, blah, blah, blah. You're done.
Right.
And I responded and I was like, dude, look, you're probably going through something right now. I'm not sure where the aggression's coming from, but I'm sorry for what you're going through and I hope things get better for you, man. And that dude DM'd my ass and was like, dude, don't know what's going on in my head. I'm sorry. I deleted that comment. Like, it really means a lot to me that you responded. And I'm like, and now look, that's what I say to most of them. If I ever respond, which is very rarely.
Right. Yeah.
But when I see some like the most heinous shit, I'll say that kind of stuff. Cause if I see a random face in the comment section or a random name, dude, and somebody saying some hateful shit, it's because they're going through something in their own lives. I
think that's accurate. Yeah.
So I'm just like, dude, I hope what you're going through, it works out. Sometimes they don't respond positively to that though.
See, I used to do that every time, and people were like, "Oh, you're so fake. I can't believe you're pretending to be a nice guy." No, I just actually give a shit. I'm like, I actually worried about the guy, right? Like, clearly something's going on. Something's imbalanced there. You need therapy. You need chemicals in your brain to be balanced out. Like, this is not a normal, healthy behavior. But that comes across as a little hypocritical because of how mentally ill I've been. So I respect that as well. But at the end of the day, what it really all comes down to is you are choosing to just be unapologetically you. And it sounds like you try to be a good person every day, but sometimes you're not, and that's okay. We all are. We're all going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And if you choose to just be the best you that you can be, if somebody doesn't like it, that ain't a Cody problem. That ain't a Boogie problem. That's a them problem. You're the one who's choosing not to like something, but still consume it, right? Like, I don't like to eat shit. So if I don't like shit, I don't want to eat shit. I'm not going to put shit in my face. You're waking up every day going, I'm going to watch this Boogie video. I'm going to watch his tweets, and I hate this shit. There's something wrong with you. Yeah. That's a you thing. You know?
Indeed. Real quick, Patrick T says, thanks for bringing up Marie Antoinette for free. You're good people. Thank you, Patrick. I love you. For another Orange Boy. We're 150 away. Well, actually 130 because of locals. 130 away from Naked Snake, you bitches. We're almost there.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I am going to Naked Snake with you.
Oh,
so
damn.
That should be either I don't know if that means people are going to spend more money or be afraid to spend money.
They're going to do those bank transactions, chargebacks.
Fuck, chargeback. But I'm telling you, my shirts are coming off. My shirt is coming off tonight.
Well, there you go, bitches. There you go. There's your goal right there. Maybe I don't know if we'll hit it now, but we'll see. No, you look great. No, but dude, that's one thing, man. That's wild to me is like I've had a lot of people on my show. I've had people that are ultra Christian, extreme right wing. I've had people that are left wing. I don't really like to talk about politics too much, but I have a lot of people on my show, And there is every single time I have somebody on my show, they're like, I can't believe you bring this person on. And that same shit happened. I tweeted it out and they're like, I can't believe you bring Boogie on. And I'm like, Boogie's always been nice to me. What the fuck? I don't care about your beef with some random video he did. Look, he said some fucked up things. I get it. I've said some fucked up things. All right. Have I said fucked up things as fucked up as Boogie? Not really, but it's fine. He's like, I met you and we sat down and freaking ate goddamn hot wings. It was great.
Yeah. Like I said, I just did a bunch of collabs with my friend, kid behind the camera, and we've been friends for 10 fucking years, ever since my Mountain Dew video. He was the inspiration. Him and his dad were the inspiration for my Mountain Dew video, right? So like, obviously we're gonna be friends. Do I like everything Mike has done? No. Do I agree with everything Mike believes or says? No. Doesn't matter. We're still friends, man. We hung out for a week. I didn't like everything he said while we were hanging out. I didn't like everything he did while we were hanging out. You don't have to 100% like somebody. And if you decide you're only going to hang out or interact with people you 100% like, you're going to be real alone for the rest of your life. Why would you not want to be around people that challenge you? Why would you not want to be around people that have different ideas than you? Why wouldn't you want to learn from the human experience? Why do you just want to sit in a room either alone or by carbon copies of yourself, just agreeing with yourself all day? That's not life. That's challenge yourself. Challenge your ideals. Challenge your concepts. Get out there and enjoy shit.
Dude, I've disagreed with 95% of my guests. Like, and I've openly disagreed in discussion live. And people are like, why would you bring them on? And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm open to anybody coming in. Look, I know that I'm not very 2023 when I say that, but I like having people on the show that I don't necessarily agree with. Like, Rich is a good example. Review Tech USA. Like, I'm pretty sure my views on social politics or whatever, they don't align with him at all. And I don't give a fuck because he's my friend.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about it and have fun, but like, I'm not going to hate the dude over it. Like, that's weird. Like, I have friends in real life that disagree with me with shit. I don't disown them. That's weird. It's like, and I think it's the bad thing is the majority of people do that. I mean, when, COVID was coming around, people were swearing off their family members and shit if they either did take it or didn't take the vaccine. Like, either side.
Right.
Like, I'll never talk to you again. I'm like, is this necessary? You guys are kind of fucking crazy. Like,
there's only one friend I lost over the whole COVID thing. And he went down the QAnon rabbit hole. And it wasn't because I disagreed with him. It wasn't because I found his Facebook post to be laughably stupid. I'm still going to hang out with you at the magic shop. We'll still talk. We'll still follow each other on Facebook. What made me eventually unfollow him is he started attacking me because I got vaccinated. And I got vaccinated because my doctor told me to do it. And my doctor's kept me alive so far, so I trust him to keep me alive through this shit, right?
Yeah.
And I just said that. I told him, I'm like, hey, I got my vaccination because my doctor said I should, and he's kept me alive so far. He's like, you're an idiot. You're a sheep. You're going to be dead in 6 months. That poison, And like, he's attacking me. And I'm like, all right, there. Well, that's what it takes. That's the line for me.
Yeah. And dude, I was on the other side of that because now, granted, I never really had an opinion on it, but I think when people started hassling me to get vaccinated, I don't leave my house much. I go to the gym and go home. So like, I don't have a job. I don't work out with people. And, so I wasn't, and I live in Alabama of all places. So no one actually talked about it here much. I think we were the lowest vax state actually. And I just never really thought about it until it was already gone. Like, it was already, people wasn't talking about it. It wasn't the thing anymore. And I had people in my chat. They'd be like, hey, are you vaccinated? When it was happening, they'd be like, are you vaccinated, Cody? And I'm like, oh, well, no, I've just not got around to it. And that's how I felt. I was like, when I travel overseas, I'll go ahead and get it.
Yep.
And people were like, I'm unsubbed. I can't believe you're such a selfish motherfucker. You piece of shit. I can't. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, you know what? Never getting vaccinated. Eat my ass. And that's how I felt. When people started acting a fool, I was like, never doing it. I will die tomorrow. Like, I don't. And it was like a spot thing. It's like, nope, you're gonna act like a fool. I'm gonna do the opposite of what you say, which is kind of like a man thing. I was like watching some kind of philosophical or psychological talk with this guy, and he was talking about how men tend to do the opposite of what people pressure, and that's why people have such a bad problem with drinking, is because their spouse or their family will be like, you need to stop drinking, you're a piece of shit, and they're like, nope, I'm gonna drink even more now, bitch. And the best thing you could do is tell them honestly how it affects them, and how like they're not going to leave them, they're not gonna freak out, but they would like them to like take a step back and see how it affects everybody. And if you continue to do that, we'll fight that battle when we get there. But I'm just letting you know. But if you freak out and you go all negative and psycho, you should be killed, you should die. You're like, that's, that's when people choose to.
Of course, yeah, of course.
So, Not Richard says, with all the talk of breakups, I should mention that I'm about to join the My Wife Decided She Deserved to Be Happy Club too. Damn it, Not Richard. Look, women FOMO, they do this thing. When they're in their mid-20s, and they're like, you know what? I can do better. I can have a better life, because they get used to being comfortable with their spouse. And then they leave, and then they find out that shit sucks. But my ex-wife told me this about 2 months after she left, 3 months. She was like, this was a bad idea. I'm depressed. All I do is drink, and I do nothing all day. And she's like, I didn't expect this to be this terrible. And it's because their single friends fill their head with ideas, and they're like, oh, it's gonna be great. We can do this. But it's because they're miserable, and it's crabs in a bucket mentality. And after my ex-wife already got remarried and shit, this is years later, she referred to that as the biggest mistake she's ever made, was listening to her like friends telling her that she should leave me for no reason, just because she was kind of like, she was FOMO, and she's fear of missing out. She was fear of missing out, So that was the issue. It was just it's just not how you think it's going to be. Like, it's like you romanticize it, and then it ruins everything. That's just how it is.
I'll be honest, and I'm not necessarily going to talk about my own relationship here, because I don't want to put my ex on blast or anything. But I will say 99.9% of the divorces I've known about, the men are devastated by it at first. Yep. It's really difficult for them at first. And then they get to a point where they are happier than they've ever been, happier than they were when they were married. And every woman I've ever known, they're jubilated when the divorce is over. I got my freedom back. I can go out into the world. I can do all this stuff. I can do that. And then by the time that dude is healed and happy, that woman is miserable, trying to figure it out, trying to get their shit together. 99.9. I don't know why it is. Maybe it's just just my friend group. Maybe it's just the people I know, but it just seems to be that's the most common case.
Miles of cock isn't worth it. Lynn S says, hi, Boogie. Good luck on your fight.
Thank you, Lynn.
It's going to be awesome. Richard says, tribute for Boogie Night, Mom. I promise to Kleenexes because I'm sad. Jesus. GZF says, I can't believe you had Cody on this show. Thank you, GZ. I appreciate you. Somebody said something that was very important, and we'll cover it real quick. Let me read Jay Lucky's. Love the mustache. Would love a Boogie Fight Milk even more. Hey, we're 110 from Naked Snake, which means we're nearly right at 600 from Fight Milk. So get on it, doggone it. Somebody said something. Shit, where is it at? Fuck. Okay, T-Dog. Thank you, Jay Lucky. T-Dog says, I just agree with every single person on my podcast. So I don't know if you were paying attention like 7 seconds ago when Boogie said he got vaccinated, and I said I didn't get vaccinated and swore I wouldn't. That's us disagreeing on a thing. Like, so when Melanie Mack was on my podcast, we had an entire hour segment where I told her why sex before marriage is fine and believing that it's not is insane to me. And we even talked about, I was like, what if you get married and your sex life is terrible because this person you didn't actually jive with at all? And she's like, well, I don't really know. I just hope that doesn't happen. We disagreed, and we didn't argue. We just kind of talked about it for an hour. I disagree with Gothics. I disagree with Nick Ricada on shit.
Yeah.
The reason you think I don't disagree is because I'm not yelling, and you're used to seeing people yell at each other, swear off each other, and hate their families and friends over it. I'm not like that because I'm an adult. So if you don't like that, then this is definitely not the podcast for you, because I'm not going to freak out on people.
And there's another thing, like apparently people have trouble with every guest you ever had. And again, like there's people out there who don't like Jack Black. That's insane to me. I don't know how that's humanly possible. There's people out there who have invented a version of Jack Black in their head that they now despise, which is insane because he's just a good person. He's really passionate about his job. He's passionate about his fans. He loves his children. His social media is incredible. Everyone speaks well of it. But you've had Jack Black on here. There'd be people on here that wouldn't watch it because they don't like Jack Black. That ain't a Cody problem. That's a them problem, you know?
Yeah, dude. And speaking of Jack Black, real quick, I knew one of Jack Black's close friends a few years ago, and they were like, yeah, I'm friends with Jack Black. And I'm like, what? Oh, whatever. And then they sent me a snap of them beside Jack Black. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they were you were sitting beside him like as I spoke. And I was like, well, goddamn. And they were like, hey, I'm talking to him. Do you want like some signed merch? And I'm like, well, yeah. And then I just look in them. I look in my PO box a week later, and I had their new album came out, and every member of the band had signed it, including Jack Black. And I was like, well, goddamn. I was like, well, and this dude did not have to do this. Like, God, I wish he'd come on my show, but that dude, he's just too famous. I love Jack. I've always loved Jack Black. Even when like the shit he's done, he did like the Mandalorian scene with Lizzo, and that was kind of weird. It's kind of
that was terrible.
It was terrible.
Like, I'm a huge Mandalorian fan. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I don't mean like one of these like angry neckbeards Star Wars fans. I just like it. It's a thing I enjoy. Yeah. It's one of my hyper focuses. But I'm never going to get mad about it. But that was the one episode that I'm like pulling my hair. I'm like, this is so. I have an opinion that I think could get me canceled, but I'm going to share it anyway. Okay. Could we stop propping up Christopher Lloyd's corpse and shit? Because like every time I see an interview in him, he clearly's dead already. He's not there. I feel so bad.
It's right? Like Weekends at Bernie's. They're just probably now. I did see this movie called Nobody. I think it was called Nobody or No One, and it had Bob Odenkirk, and it had Christopher Lloyd, and he was old as fuck, but he did a pretty good job in that movie. But this was like years ago too. So, but yeah, he looked old in that shit. That poor bastard.
Like if he wants to work, I'm glad he's getting to still work, and this is his passion. This is what he loves. Like 110%. But I don't feel that's the case. I feel like. Is he in financial problems or something? Because he should be happily retired, along with Michael J. Fox. Like I saw an interview with Michael J. Fox the other day, and he's so inspirational. He's so awesome, but he's like comfortable with what he's doing, and you know he's not forced to be in front of cameras and shit. You know if he doesn't want to be, and I feel like that's what they're doing to poor Christopher Lloyd. I really don't feel like this is a choice he has. Also, like Nicolas Cage, and also who was the guy from Die Hard?
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis. I feel like a lot of those people are just like getting forced to do this shit.
Yeah.
You know?
God, dude, yeah. Helena says, I disagree with Cody 69% of the time. You disagree with me a lot more than that, by the way. But no, we disagree. I heatedly disagree with Helena. It's a lot of fun. Disco Cobra! Think it's like you don't know what you got till it's gone. You think the single carefree lifestyle is best for you. You might find a better person. Odds are you won't find a better person. You won't find somebody better just to be satisfied with what you have. Yeah, and that's true, and I totally get it. But I would have never left my wife. I was real happy. Then she left, and that like messed up my mind, and now I can't do that anymore. I'm just like single for life. It's just how I am. I do not crave another person like other people do. A lot of people do. I don't. I'm like I do not have that filter where I'm like I need another person. I loved my roommate, Tiny One Badger. I love that little girl more than damn anything. Now, was it like a love like wife love? No, it was like a human love. Like I would take care of her until she doesn't need, and then she left, and she did. She left. She got married, and that's great. She's happy as hell. But I loved to share that little girl, and then she left, and that was it. And that doesn't bother me. And I never really needed that filter. And some people, they just have to have that shit. They're like, if I'm not in love, I mean nothing. And a lot of people make this mistake of conflating relationship with value. People still have value regardless of not if you're single. And I have friends that like, they get so depressed because they think their life has no meaning because they're single. And I'm like, you still have value, man. Use your value. You still got that shit.
I feel like if you think that way, you're going to be single forever too.
Yeah.
Right. Like the most attractive thing a man can do is work on their own shit and be self-confident and be self-sufficient. And then like a woman will want to attach themselves to that. But if you're fucking needy, and I have been needy, women do not find that shit attractive, man. That's not a thing that they're going to want to sign up for. Is Captain, where are you? Where have you been? Can I have your location at all times? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Get your shit together,
dude. And Michaela brought up a good point, and I will cover that. I was going to preface with that, but I didn't because I feel like it goes without saying. But I will say that Patrick T says Biden replaced Doc Brown. Rest in peace. Thank you, Patrick T. I love you. I appreciate you, Patrick. Patrick's going hard as hell today. One red boy from a Rainbow Night, by the way. Somebody said how much for neck of snake? $70. And then $5.70. No, yes, $5.70 to Fight Milk, bitches. So Michaela said she left her marriage because drug abuse and mental abuse. And that I agree. So when we're referring to marriages ending, and like women leave because they FOMO. We're not talking about that. Like
no,
there are women that are in abusive situations and they get out of it, and it's awesome. That's a good thing.
Yeah, if you're dating an abuser, I'm not including that in the 99% I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely not. Like that's not just a marriage ending. That's you escaping a fucking monster. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that goes without saying. But a lot of people, they FOMO. I've seen it 100 times with friends. Girl leaves because she wants to travel and experience life as a free spirit. What she means is she wants to go through miles of cock, and I get it. That's fine if you want to do that. But when you turn 32 and suddenly you're like, I kind of want to like get back into that role and settle down, like you haven't like queefed in like 6 years now. That's never happening again. Like it's over. Like you're not going to get that guy that's gonna jump off a cliff for your ass. It's over. Like you wasted those 7 years you had because you wanted to live life. And there's nothing wrong with that. Fuck it. I'm just saying, don't expect what you had in your early 20s when you're in your mid 30s.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything love like I don't think there is a love like young love. Is there when you're like your brain is so small and you're like, oh, this is everything. This relationship is everything. I'm going to build the whole world around this one little agreement we've made. And then when later in life, you're just like, man, the world's so big.
Yeah.
This is such a small thing we're doing here. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to concentrate on this huge fucking world, and you can be part of it if you want. That's what old love is like.
Yeah, I don't really get it. Like, there's just when I was, for example, when I was 24, I was like borderline brain dead. Like when it comes to like how I think and like perceive life now, I can't even imagine making decisions at that age that reverberate through time. And that's a totally different conversation. But when I turned 27, 28, when my wife left, I feel like I matured completely, like as a man, and it like changed everything for the better. Which one is that, by the way?
That was Sammy. He's the old one.
Is he the one with the googly eyes?
Yeah. He's getting old too. I feel so bad.
Every time you post pictures of him, I'm like, what the hell is that?
Right, he's the most beautiful dogs in the world to me. He looks like a rat. He looks like a rat's been hit in the head, you know? Man, I'll tell you, I was just thinking about this. I think I should be brutally honest about my marriage. I had been looking for that my whole life, man. I was like, I want my partner. I want to build a life. I want to build a business. You know, somebody said to me the other day, if you're picking a partner that you want to be with long-term, ask yourself the question, would you build a business with this person? Because if you won't build a business with them, you probably shouldn't build a home life. You probably shouldn't build a house. You probably shouldn't build a marriage. You know, that because it's a lot of financial shit going on, right? And my ex-wife finally came around, and I'm like, this is the person I want to build a life with. This is the person I want to build a business with. And we did. Like, she helped me build the YouTube channel. Like, she came in and she started it. She was cleaning up after the Francis sketches, acting them, helping write them. While I was editing, she was doing the cleanup, and we cashed the checks together, right? And that's why it was so utterly devastating when we got divorced. Even though I wasn't happy towards the end, the last 6 months that we were together, all I could think was something's got to change. Something's got to change. But I will say, because I'm an old school, like 48-year-old man raised in the Southern Appalachians, when you're married for life. I would have never left. Doesn't matter how unhappy I was. And I was never going to leave. But then when we finally left, like, I didn't know who the hell I was anymore. I didn't know what I was anymore. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'll never forget, in the first week after my divorce, I like went to bed and I turned on Netflix and I'm like, what are we watching? Oh no, it's just me. I have to watch it.
Yeah.
I have to pick it. So I don't have anybody to run it by. I don't have anybody. Well, I don't want to watch anything. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I miss watching shows with somebody I loved. Right.
Yeah.
I completely lost my identity in that marriage. And that's why I think that's why I think I went so far off the deep end. But I can tell you now, any relationship I'm in moving forward, and I am still open to the idea of meeting my person, being with my person, and building a life with my person. I'm still open to it. It's going to be so different. Like, I don't know if I'll ever sign a lease with somebody again. I sure as hell ain't going to share a bank account with somebody again. Are you joking? Never. Oh, it changed everything. You know, I think it's one and done in life that you'll trust and love that way once and one 100%. Time only.
Yep. I agree with that completely. And I think the hardest thing for me was because it was like 7 years, right? Like hardest thing, and that which is it's not that long, I guess, for some people, but was the first like couple of days where I go to bed and it was just there was silence in my house and I went to bed alone. It was the weirdest shit in the world. That was probably the biggest adjustment. I adjusted to it quick though because I was clapping bitches immediately because I don't play around. Disco Cobra says, have you seen any of the latest stuff on Steven Crowder? Apparently he was emotionally abusive to his pregnant wife. She released a video of him going off on her. Kind of sucks. Yeah. So what I'll say about that is I've never really talked about him or nor watched any of Steven Crowder's shit. But that being said, one video in a extremely long marriage of somebody yelling at somebody, it seems disingenuous to pull out like a minute-long event over a thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours relationship and judge it based on that. Now, is that shitty? Sure it is. But when you take out a tiny little subset of that, could he have been doing that like the whole time they're married? Sure. If he was, sucks ass. He's shitty. And also the video looked shitty as well. And I'll say that I disagree with the actions there, but it's also hard to judge like an entire relationship based off one little thing. It's kind of like the whole Johnny Depp thing where Amber Heard was tripping balls and he would get mad and throw a bottle or something. And it's like, oh, that was the whole relationship. And it's like, we don't know that.
Can I throw my 2 cents in? Because we're going to disagree on this one.
Go.
So having been raised by an abuser and watching the way she abused my brother, my sister, myself, and my dad, when I listened to that Steven Crowder 3 minutes and a half, and it's only 3.5 minutes, I recognize so many manipulation techniques, like where he was creating parameters and then she would like try to solve the parameters. So he'd tighten them and then she'd try to solve it again. Then he'd widen them back up. It was like, well, no, like he was purposely trying to make it impossible for her to win.
Yeah.
And that is a tremendously awful form of abuse. Now, do I know that happened every day? No, but I don't think you get good at that in 3 minutes. Yeah. I think you got to be that kind of person and you've got to practice to do it as efficiently as he was doing it in that 3.5 minutes. And maybe I'm just too close. Maybe I'm just too close to it because of all the shit I've been through. Maybe I'm projecting and I'm willing to say that. And I said that shit on Twitter, but that 3.5 minutes, I saw a classic narcissistic abuser doing what he fucking does best. And he was excellent at it.
Yeah.
Excellent at it. Like textbook Wanda Williams, the woman that raised me, trying to start a fight, trying to make it as bad as possible, trying to ruin the day. Like I that's what I saw. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm glad to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. For her sake, I hope I'm fucking wrong. But I saw that and it broke my fucking heart. I'm like, in that guy. 8 months pregnant. That one was 8 months pregnant. Putting somebody under that kind of stress could cause that child to die. You know?
Yeah. No, I didn't think about that. It's a great point. So yeah, when I get around people that I feel like are manipulating me, I drop their ass in 2 seconds. So I wouldn't be with somebody long-term like that. So it's probably harder for me to recognize those signs. So that's a good point because I didn't think about that shit. And it's very possible you're right because you don't just start doing that shit one day with the manipulation. What I'm thinking from my point of view is sometimes you have badass days and it sucks ass. And sometimes you lose your cool. And then what if it's filmed, and then all of a sudden there's a microscope on you, but I've had PTSD meltdowns and autistic meltdowns, and my wife probably the 7 years we were together, she probably saw PTSD meltdowns a total of 8 or 9 times, and it's awful. It's awful. Like I'm hitting myself in the head, crying, and like begging, leave me alone. Like it's awful, right? Like if someone saw that and it was isolated, they might think the worst. So I fully respect where people are coming from in that regard. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, great point. Juicy Weasel on Rumble says, awesome show and guest. Here's the Naked Snake. Thank you, Juicy Weasel. I love you for your $20 Rumble rant. Your go to this. Hey, y'all. Disco Cobra. Appreciate you again. I love you. I hope that explanation was sufficient. Oh my God, it's my girl. Wicked. What's up, baby? How you doing? Sit on my face. How you doing? Thank you, girl. Appreciate you. Wicked Virtue. Okay, so there's a lot of people in the chat talking about this, so I'll hit it real quick. And I don't really know. Celebrate first super chat. Everybody's first super chat. They really want me to read this shit. YOLO Dick Swagger. New video says, Wing made some pedo comments. Yeah, so somebody in the chat said Wing said people that abuse children should have the same rights as LGBTQ people. I haven't seen anything about that. If he said that, it's even more reason for his face to get beat in. So there you go. People saying stuff about the fight might be canceled and stuff like that. I don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that. I'm
yeah.
not getting texts about it, so
yeah, but
I'll worry about it when we cross that bridge.
Right. If he did say something, some bullshit like that, yeah, he needs to be slapped in the face, and hopefully Boogie can deliver that.
Yeah.
Black Boogie, WSP, my brother. What are some YouTube tips? Just the tip, man. Oh my God. Don't do it. That's the tip. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I will say one thing. I probably shouldn't even feed into this, okay? I am surprised how desperate people are to stop this fight from happening. And it's not for a good reason. It's not like, oh, I'm afraid somebody's going to get hurt. Oh, I'm afraid Boogie's going to break his fucking jaw. I think he's going to lose. They want to end it for all the weirdest reasons. Like, and some people are trying to end it because they dislike Wings. Why wouldn't you want to see Wings get his face smashed in? like if you dislike Wings, why would you be trying to like fuck with that? It's so weird. It's so weird.
Well, I think it's a PR thing, and I have never cared about that. Somebody in the chat said I need to distance myself from the situation. I could care less of what people think about me, and never have, never will. If it killed my channel, that's fine. Fuck it. Like, I don't care. So it ain't gonna change my mind about anything. But yeah, maybe it's because people don't want there to be a lot of press about it. Because I mean, you gotta understand. I mean, you fucking know better than anybody. A lot of people hate your ass, and like. Some of the things that some of the things you've said were fucked up, and I could understand somebody holding
100%,
viewpoint of that. I don't hold grudges. I don't really care. I'm very lighthearted, very laid back. I don't give a shit about what people say. Words are just words to me. So I get it, but like people wanting to like destroy somebody's life for a long period of time is so silly to me. And
you know what? I haven't said anything fucked up in a while. Here's an exclusive for you. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
I don't know if you're gonna want to mute this or something, but I'm gonna say something so fucked up, dude. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Pee, poopy, dookie, stinky butt farts, creep, poopy, shit, anus, anal bum fights. Anal bum fights for Hitler.
There it is. The last one. The last word. You got him. Oh my God. Thank you, Slagolust, for the Goomba. I appreciate you. I got dragged on Twitter for the Goomba. Thanks. Appreciate that. I had a girl on my podcast the other day, and I told her about my penis being little, but it has a big old head on it, like a baseball, but it got a tiny little shaft. And she's like a Goomba, like from Mario. And I was like, yeah, like a Goomba. And then like it's a fucking meme, and it's all over Twitter, and they're just posting pictures of Goombas and like tagging me. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. I ain't ashamed of my tiny penis. Patrick T says most dudes are easy to please. These days, women are mercenaries. The next genre of relationships are untenable. It would be better to have a beer and talk about Crowder, or talk to Crowder, talk about Crowder. I'd like to talk to him about it. Like I said, I wouldn't yell at a woman unless it was Tiny. I did get a little heated at Tiny sometimes because she's a little dumbass, but I still loved her ass. But that's also the issue. So there was times where like, some shit would go down or something. Just, I'm stressed, Tiny stressed, and we get into a little shouting match. Now, what if she recorded that and released it completely out of context? It would seem like I was a fucking psycho. Like, so I get it. But then again, like he said, manipulation tactics, being able to recognize that's very important. So Noah Sanders, not Saunders. Hey, Cody and Boogie, just popped in after Tim Cast. Curious on how close we are to Naked Snake and Fight Milk. Problem with the manipulators is that some people are just naturals at it. Yeah, you ain't lying, Noah Sanders. We are 10 away from Naked Snake, 5-10 from Fight Milk. Closing in.
I want to get the shirt off. So bad.
Closing in. Jessica Reloaded says $10 for the porn stash. Thank you, Jessica. I love you. You can sit on it any day. Don't know who Wings is, but I like Boogie and I want you safe.
Thank you, Helena.
Dude, speaking of that, that's what I wanted to talk about. Wings, you can say what you want about you, but Wings, he's been a dumbass for a while, and I think it's entertaining. I've watched his streams before, and I think he's so silly. And I'm very, like I said, I'm very lighthearted about the shit. I just watch it. I don't get mad. I just watch it and like laugh or be like, it's kind of fucked up. Yeah. But one time I was watching a stream, and I thought it was funny, and I was donated $10, and I was like, "Why'd you get a V6 Mustang, Wings?" And he blocked me. He banned me immediately. And then that was right when I started blowing up on YouTube. It was right at that same point. And I saw somebody sent me a video of him talking shit. They're like, he's like, Camelot's fake. He has no charisma. That guy's a motherfucker. Like, he made fun of my Mustang. Fuck that guy. And I was like, and I remember going to his stream, and it was either a different account or something, and I donated again. And I was like, I thought what we had was special. What the hell? And I don't care. I thought it was funny, and I was like, I would have wings on for sure, you know. But dude, it's insane to me. But yeah, if he said some pedo shit, that's gross. I don't agree with that shit at all. Never will. Grifty says we demand a member Goomba emoji. No, you bitches, you ain't getting no member of Goomba. Here, if we hit Fight Milk, I'll make a Goomba emoji for you, Grifty, as long as Nintendo don't sue my ass. This put us over. Naked Snake got to hear the best 8-bit band song so we can all sing along. Thank you, dude. It's such a great song. Noah Sanders, I love you. I appreciate you. We hit it. We'll do it here in about 20 minutes. Get on it, doggone it. I love you. Before we close off, thank you, Noah. I love you. Appreciate you so much, man. I guess I shouldn't ask you that. What would it be if Boogie, or sorry, not Boogie, Wings, that's you. If Wings said some fucked up shit like that, like, would that make you want to not fight, or would it make you want to fight more? It
make me want to fight more.
Yeah, you just punch his ass, right?
Yeah.
How dare you? You know, that seems pretty obvious to me.
I mean, like, I don't necessarily, to be honest with you, I didn't look into Wings very much until this fight. And then I just did like down the rabbit hole and stuff like that, but I didn't even pay that close of attention to it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get like a general idea of what the guy's like. And to me, if my assessment of Wings, to be honest with you, is he lacks a lot of self-awareness. I think that's a big key. I think he is kind of dumb, but I'm kind of dumb. We're all kind of dumb, so I don't necessarily mean that. I think he's led a kind of a small, more sheltered life, hasn't been exposed to a lot of different people, a lot of different ideas. So he's kind of, not that smart there. And he's definitely fucked up his own body and his own life, but I can't point fingers because I've done the same thing. He had the opportunity with PKA, he fucked it up. I had the opportunity with YouTube, I fucked it up, right? We both let our bodies rot. We both sought comfort when we should have been doing the work. And now we have to do the work late in life because we spent our lives in comfort. And now we're fucking miserable because of how bad our bodies have gotten. And it's going to take 10 times the work because we didn't do it when we should have. We were fucking supposed to. And those are all the things I think about Wings. And that alone enough. Since I see myself in him, and I'm mad at myself for fucking up my own body, I'm mad at myself for fucking up my own life. That alone makes me want to knock his ass out.
Because that you see yourself in him.
Yeah, he's done the same shit that I've done. He's made the same mistakes I've made. Let me knock some fucking sense into him the same way someone had to knock some sense into me for me to get here.
Yeah, dude, that makes a lot of sense.
Right, and then I don't know about all of this other accusations, this, that. I've never looked into it. I don't want to look into it. That shit annoys and creeps me out. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm surprised anybody else does. But if any of that ever turned out to be true, of course it'd make me just want to hit them all the harder. You know?
That you bring up a great point, because when my ex-wife left, I was hanging out with girls off Tinder because I just put a picture of my abs on Tinder, and that somehow I thought it was cringe, but it worked. So I was hanging out with girls.
You think it would work for me?
I mean, I would swap her out for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So I was hanging out with all these girls, and the unfortunate truth, the stat is probably, if I had to roughly estimate, about 70% of them were married or had a boyfriend. And I was still smashing them pissers. And it's almost, and I wouldn't do that now. This is 6 years ago. But when I think back to it, I think I did it because I was punishing the guy, because I'm like, how dare you let this happen? Like I did, because I felt like I fucked up. Like, how did I fuck this up? Like, you know what I'm saying? It was weird. So I would just even just ram it. I would just go harder. And something, I don't know. So it was like I was punishing myself. Like, the guy was me and I was punishing him. It's pretty shitty when I think about it. Grifty, I'm broke, but got 5 on it. Remember Goomba. Also, congrats on the decent race. Ain't that too shabby. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Be better next race too. Thank you. But yeah, dude. So what was I wanted to ask you about this because it was one of my favorite videos. It was the one for me and one for my hooker video.
Yeah. Okay.
Explain what happened in that video.
So here's the entire backstory. I'll give you everything. All right. So there's this group of people on Reddit that just were obsessed with me. It's like a group of 2,000 people that every day posted like 100 posts about me and talking about this and trying to dissect my tweets and trying to dissect my streams and trying to dissect my videos to find anything that they could choose to be upset about for some reason. It was a weird fucking behavior, right?
Yeah.
But back in the day, I was like, people liked me on Reddit originally. So I was like, I check Reddit all the time. And I'd even search my own name on Reddit because I was a fucking self-centered YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
And I found out about these people and I would read what they would say. And I eventually had to break that about 6 months after my divorce was final. I finally stopped reading Reddit altogether, abandoned my account, gave up the website, period. But they had sniffed around my life and had found that I had been dating some strippers, and I had also dabbled with sugaring, which is basically escorts with extra steps, if I'm being honest.
You gotta buy them dinner and shit, right?
Right, you're buying them dinner, you're buying them, taking them to a show, you might take them shopping, and you probably won't get laid. That's the thing. You're like with an escort, you're probably going to get laid. With a hooker, you're definitely going to get laid. With a stripper, you're not likely to get laid, and you're even less likely to get laid from a sugar baby, because that's the thing. You're paying for their time, arm candy to share the experience with you, and I loved that. Occasionally, I did get laid, and I got laid a lot more than I probably should have. But again, it's way extra hard. You're just playing the game on hard mode at that point. Why wouldn't you go find a streetwalker for $50, right? But anyway, I dabbled with that because my heart was broken. I did not want to do anything other than just have sex and get it over with.
Yeah.
And I don't do well on Tinder. It's a small town, and I look like Jabba the fucking Hutt. So what other way, right? What other way do I have to go about it? So that's what I was doing. So I went to VidCon, and while I was even in the limo on my way to VidCon, I checked that subreddit, and there's hooker this, hooker that, sugar baby this, hooker that. And so I got to the room, and I started live streaming for fun after setting up all my editing software so I could vlog at VidCon. And I'm like streaming and just goofing off. And people are like, hey, who's that second bed for? And I had a second bed in the room just because that's how they booked it.
Yeah.
But also I had my friend with me. My friend Ellis who eventually did a podcast with me. He was with me. He was going to be using the extra bed. But I got it into my head. I was like, I'll just lean into the meme. These guys are obsessed with me banging hookers, so I guess I'll do that. And I was like, such a good mood. I ended up getting on the bed and like humping the bed. I didn't realize I was creating a fucking meme at that moment, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, they weren't entirely wrong. I had dabbled with sugar babying, which is, again, hooker, but without the sex.
Yeah.
Which I don't even really understand why people object to that. But whatever, they do. I get it. You know, sex work is still work. If you pay to fuck somebody, that's still work. I think nobody gets hurt in that situation. If that's what you choose to do, go do it, right?
Yeah.
But that said, I chose to go through the outward route. I did not bang any sugar babies at that hotel, but
should have.
Yeah, I should have. I should have taken one to VidCon.
That's one thing I don't understand is I'm also like, so keep in mind, I had a lot of conservative people on my podcast, and they're great people. Love these people. But when people hear things like me saying, I think prostitution should be legal, like they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, like, and they're like, don't you understand how I'm like, no, I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. You want to know why? Because like some people, you know, they have these subset of skills and they're using that to their advantage. If I was a woman and I could start an OnlyFans and pull my boobies out, make $1 million, you best believe I'd pull both boobies out.
I started an OnlyFans last year, and I eventually quit because the guy offered me $200 to play with my butthole, so I quit because it creeped me out. But
I've done it, Boogie.
Yeah, I'm not at that point where I'm ready to do it, but there might be a time where I am.
Oh my God, I had this girl one time. She was going ham on my ass, you know, lunching, and dude, she stuck her pinky in my ass, and I was like, I remember being like, you know, gasp, and then I like got her attention. I was like, no, and she was like, okay, that was it. Like, don't put your pinky in my ass. I'm pretty cool with most things. Don't put your pinky in my ass.
This time last year, I was dating a girl that was obsessed with dudes' butts, and she did not mention it until like the third time we hooked up, and she's like, I really want to do stuff with your butt. I really want to try it.
Oh my God.
And eventually she showed me this toy. And I'm trying to describe it from memory because I certainly haven't seen it since. But it was a for the man, and it was a butt plug that curved under your taint.
Oh my God.
And then served as a vibrating cock ring as well. And so the entire thing would vibrate. And then I guess she wanted to be fucked while you were wearing that.
So it's like attached like a harness almost, but
right, yeah, because it's in your butt, but then it's also wrapped around the wiener. And I'm like, I'm glad you want that. And I really hope you find a guy who will do that for you. But I am not that guy. But eventually, she did convince me, Cody. She did convince me to let her lube up a finger and get it in there while she was doing other things, obviously, and fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah.
And I think it could be like some ingrained, like, that's just, like, I don't know, homophobia. I don't know what it is. But dude, it was not a pleasurable feeling.
I did it, dude. I like tried that before I ever got with each other. Like I was in the shower one time, I was like 13, 14. And I was like, you know what? Almost, and I just like explored a little, just jabbed my finger up my brown eye. And I was like, no, thanks. And that was when I decided right then. I was like, nope, not into that.
Yeah, I'm too fat to do that. I wipe with a stick, I'm really fat. I'm super fat.
Damn it. Matt himself on Rumble. Fight milk contribution. I disagree with Boogie. We have no idea what led up to this. Also, remember around this time, Crowder had major surgery to his chest, no context. No, and like it could go either way. I agree, Matt. It's kind of like a microscope on a small situation, but also, like Boogie said, recognizing manipulation tactics is also it could go either way. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. So how about that fight game? Cornflakes? What the hell are you talking about, cornflakes? What's, by the way, Fidelio, I love you. I'm glad you're here, my friend. I didn't say hi to you yet. We hit Naked Snake, by the way, and we are now 470 from Fight Milk with a little bit of time left. Get the hell on it, doggone it. I appreciate it.
Walk me through Fight Milk. I definitely understand Naked Snake.
Fight Milk basically is a glass of milk, obviously.
Right.
With
like from Always Sunny reference, right? Yes. Always Sunny reference.
And there's just 2 whole eggs in that bitch. And I put vodka in it, but I'm out of vodka now, so I have to put something else. I have something downstairs, probably something terrible. I think I have Malibu. Oh, that would suck ass. But yeah, basically that. And you just fucking kill it. It's actually not that bad. My buddy Nick Arcade has done it like 6-7 times, but it can be bad.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. I will Naked Snake with you all day. I would be my pleasure to Naked Snake with you in person.
Hell yeah. But yeah, it's not as bad. Who did it with me? I think Wicked Virtue. Small little girl does it with me every time she gets on my stream. And Melanie Mack did it. She did it with Gamer Fuel, which seems way worse in my opinion.
Dude, can I shit talk Melanie Mack for a second?
Oh yeah, go for it.
All right, so she originally at one point lived in the same state that I lived in.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really cool. So I paid attention to her.
Yeah.
And I never really, she became a very politically slanted influencer over the last year, I think. Prior to that, she was not so much.
Yeah,
mostly just like talking video games, talking other stuff. And now every tweet I see from her is generally stuff I don't agree with. She's like shit talking some liberal, or she's talking about how great Jesus is and like how everyone that doesn't love Jesus will get shot in the head one day and she can't wait to watch him bleed. I mean, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but I genuinely disagree with most of what I see her say. And I think, in my opinion, she's stirring the shit. I think sometimes I read her tweets and I'm like, she doesn't actually believe that. Or I'll see her posts and I'll be like, I don't think she actually believes that, because it's hard for me to believe that people do believe some of the things she says and does. And that said, I still love her, man. I think she's great.
Yeah. I had her on my, she was probably the person I disagreed with the most on a show.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm not religious at all. Never have been. I grew up in Alabama and most of my family was religious except for my mom and dad, which is probably the most influential. And I just never liked it. I always thought it was weird, seemed kind of culty, so I didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So when I talked to like her or Gothics about that, and like, do no shame at all, I have no problem with people that are religious. Like, so don't misinterpret me. But yeah, I disagree with a lot of it. Like, no sex before marriage. I think it's very silly. I say things like, why is it that Jesus cares about white people in Michigan, but he doesn't really care about the 7,000 African children that die like weekly from like mutilation because they don't have anybody to protect them or a government to protect them or anybody, no police force. They just get killed immediately and just atrocities happen. And why does that happen to them? Why does Jesus like help me with my favorite football team win their football game, but doesn't help like starving children in certain countries or child labor?
Am I allowed to get hippy dippy with you right now? Do you want to hear
Yes.
everything I learned from my psychedelic trips? Okay. All right. So tell me when I lose you. Okay. Tell me when you disagree with me. Okay. All right. First off, you and I are the same. We are the same creature, entity, soul, the universe, the air you're breathing, the animals you eat, the flowers that grow, the stars you look at. We are all the same. Can you believe that?
Yeah, we're all made up of the same exact
right, but
chemicals.
Okay, but specifically what we're made out of is that you and I and the ground and God, we're God. We are God. This is God. We are all God. All of this is God. And every religion has it right a little bit. But this is what I experienced, and this is what I learned by taking the heroic dose of penis envy mushrooms, which I do not recommend because it will fucking change your life and your world and your mind, and sometimes not for the better. So that said, if you're still with me, the reason that shit happens is so that we as a God, as an entity, can grow and learn. And we all know that restrictions breed creativity, that pain builds character. That's what we're doing. We have created this universe. We have created these characters, Cody and Boogie and whoever's watching this, Tom, Steve, Jeff, Carrie, whatever your name is there at home. We've created this character to experience this universe that we've created over and over and over again from every different angle so that we can learn and grow and become better. I also think we're bored as fuck. I think being omnipotent and omniscient outside of this reality. So if you're still with me, and it's okay if you're not.
I'm with you.
Literally one day as an entity, I don't have no real understanding of it, just other than being it for a brief period of time, leaving this body and becoming that again. We created this universe so that we could explore it. And then one day we rolled up a Cody character and we said, I'm going to be born in this body at this time, at this place with these restrictions to these parents, and I'm going to experience it. And here's where it gets really fucky. I didn't learn this one until recently. But you will live an infinite number of Cody lives because we have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
So you will live every variation of Cody there is before you move on from Cody. And then you're going to live and be Boogie. And then you're going to be Carrie. And then you're going to be Jeff and Joe and Steve. And that means, unfortunately, at one point you were Hitler. But it also means at one point you were Jesus Christ, the man.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And that's where it really started to fuck with my mind. But I'm telling you, I believe this the way Melanie Mack believes what she believes, the way you believe you're breathing air. And it's not believing, it's knowing. I know it because I took enough mushrooms to where I literally died. My soul left this body, left this plane. I became what I have always been. I became that God again, experienced that for a few minutes, and then chose to come back to be the best Boogie that I could be.
So like a hive mind? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think it's like fragmented. Like imagine setting down and playing Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. And instead of like, you're playing a character, you literally just became the character you rolled up.
Yeah.
You literally just became that. It's like putting on a VR helmet and truly, truly experiencing it genuinely. Forgetting temporarily, giving yourself amnesia that I'm God so that you can experience it as Cody, as Boogie, as whatever.
And you're saying shrooms unlocks this.
So shrooms can unlock it, but it won't for everybody. Boogie, have you listened to The Egg by Andy Weir? Yes. And I had not listened to it until after I did shrooms. And nobody told me I was going to figure this out. Nobody told me what to figure out. Nobody told me what to expect. I learned this shit from dying in that mental state. But here's the thing. Every Buddhist will tell you some people become enlightened by meditation, and some people never become enlightened no matter how much they meditate. And some people will become enlightened while eating breakfast one day because it's just meant for them. So it's possible that people will take 5 milligrams. Let's imagine, Cody, you seem to be living a great life. You seem to really like being you, right?
Yes.
So you might take that same heroic dose I take and still come back and just have no enlightenment, because why would you want it? Why would you give yourself that? You're enjoying being Cody. I was not enjoying being Boogie. I was fucking miserable, man. I needed to know. And since I needed to know, I now have that information. And I don't know if I'm wrong or not. I genuinely am under the, I'm not delusional enough to say that if you disagree with me, you're wrong. You're entitled to your opinion, utterly. But I will say this mindset, this belief, this knowledge, whatever you want to call it, has vastly improved my life. And I'm so grateful for it.
Awesome. Well, that's good to hear. So let me give my 2 cents on it. Because this is where this will be a big disagreement.
Hit me.
But let me explain how I see this, and not specifically what you're saying, although I do like this idea. Just speaking of religion in general, and I think it boils down to human nature. I have not done shrooms, so we'll preface that with this. But for example, I think, and people in chat, get ready for this shit, because I don't want you to get your feelings hurt. I'm not talking about you. I'm not making fun of nobody. I feel like the reason that a lot of people are in the situation they're in when it comes to their beliefs is because we are the first in our world, the first intellectual, knowledgeable species. And I think the issue is what that breeds is ego and narcissism. And I think this is how I see it. When I talk to like people that I've had talked to in the past, it is hard to imagine this world, this universe, these people, things working how it does. It's hard to imagine that being over one day and not being for you specifically, because in our lives, we are so damn important, and we think everybody should understand how important we are. Therefore, when I die, I will live for eternity. I will get everything I've ever wanted and desired, and it will be paradise, because I get that, because this was all made for me. And I feel like that's narcissism. It's bleeding out, because we can't even fathom that when we die one day, it's fucking over. I'm too important for that to happen, Boogie. I'm too goddamn important for that to happen. I will have paradise when I leave here. I'll have virgins. I'm gonna be coming on the ass. So I think that's where I see it when it boils down. I think it's just, it's a very narcissistic thing. Religion in general, and I'm not saying what you believe at all. I'm saying I do like the concept a lot, and I haven't done shrooms yet. So
right.
I feel like that's how I always see it. Is I feel like there's just a huge. It's just we can't, and I don't blame anybody for that, and I could be wrong. Hell, I might die one day, and Jesus is like, "You fucked up." I'm like, "Oh, fuck, I fucked up."
Well, I hear you, and I love everything you're saying, and I love that you believe that. But I will give you a question that Alan Watts presents. There's a philosopher by the name of Alan Watts, and I've been studying him a lot lately.
Sure.
And he asks the question, to really sit and think about what it's like to cease existing, right?
Yeah, it's rough.
And if you really, really think about it long enough, what you'll ultimately, you ask yourself the question, can I imagine what it's like to close my eyes and never wake up again? But then you have to ask yourself, isn't it just as probable as having woken up one day, having never done that before, right? And so Alan Watts will say that if you really think on this long enough, you will realize that this is eternal, that knowledge is in you. Because it's impossible. It's impossible to have just blinked into existence. It's impossible. You've had to have been here. You've had to have always been here. And if you've always been here, that means you will always be here. And I believe that is far more likely than the scenario you're presenting, is that you were never here, and then you will always never be here again. and you were only here for a brief period of time. That doesn't even seem possible to me anymore.
Right.
But if that's how you live your life, if that's the knowledge you have, if that's what guides the Cody that you're choosing to be right now, that's fucking great. And I don't want to challenge it. I don't want you to lose it. I want you to be the best fucking Cody you can under that belief structure, because that's the game you're choosing to play. That's the life you're choosing to live.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that for you. It's awesome.
That's a fucking great point that you bring up. But that leads me back to the same shit. Because I can't break this thought process. It's hard to break the thought process. It's asking ourselves the question, like, look at me. How could anything have existed before this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it comes from a place of narcissism. It's like, there can't be anything. Like, I'm eternal. How could I have just woke up? I have to have existed. Do you see how important I am? I have to have existed before this. That's kind of like how I always see it, and I can't help it.
I respect that.
I don't know why. I just it's like, when I hear how could there be something before me, it feels like no,
it's not how was there something before you. How was there nothing before you? That's the question.
Right.
How was there nothing?
But what is the opposite of nothing? It's something. And what was I in high school when I was sitting at the reject table with 3 of my friends and all we did was talk about, wow, I was nothing. What happened when I changed schools, lost weight, and started playing football and girls started liking me? I was something, and I grew a giant ego about it. And that's kind of how I see it. Maybe because of that transition of my life.
And I think that is interesting that you even use the word ego. Because entirely, and when you mention narcissism, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about the ego, right? Yeah. And that's the entire game we're playing. We want to have an ego. Alan Watts says ego death isn't the point of doing psychedelics. Ego death is understanding that you're part of the sum is important.
Yeah.
But once you understand that, you should embrace your ego. You should be the best fucking Cody you could be. You should live the fuck out of a Cody life. Fucking Cody it up. So everything you're saying right now still aligns with everything I believe, even though it kind of doesn't allow for it. But what I believe does allow for what you're saying. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
But 100%, I love and respect where you're coming from. I get it.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing to do too. Like, when I think there is a point where there's too much, but I don't think there's anything there's ever a reason to not be proud of yourself. Speaking in a purely very surface level thing, I think it's very important to be proud of yourself and your accomplishments. Sometimes I feel like I am. Sometimes I feel like I'm not. It's just like ebb and flows there. Drew Cypher said they don't call them magic mushrooms for nothing.
They are fucking magic.
Yeah, he said I don't believe that, but I understand how you got there. Cheers, Boogie. Good luck on the fight.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you. Kumar says, Cody, I see you rocking that Aaron Taylor Johnson stash. I've been a fan for over 10 years through the highs and lows. Hope everything eventually works out, man. Glad you kept your values right. Do it all. P and L. Thank you, Kumar. I appreciate you, buddy. We're closing in. We're 420. Nice. Away from Fight Milk. We're closing in on the end, and we are one red boy from a rainbow night. We'll do Naked Snake here in a few minutes. And thank you, Helena. I appreciate it. Says it's the best CAMELCAST you've ever seen. That's because you actually watched it this time. She's just always like, oh, I'm not going to stay for this one. And I'm like, you bitch. How could you? We'll talk about, I like talking about stuff like this.
Okay. Let me throw you another philosophical loop, right? I believe I know what the universe is, and you believe you know what the universe is, right?
Right.
Okay, but let me show you how limited our ability to perceive the universe is. Number one, mathematically, we can't perceive dark matter, but we can measure it, and that makes up the majority of the universe. You can only see 3% of the visible light spectrum, okay? So we can't even comprehend, we can't even perceive the universe, but I'll prove to you can't comprehend it, okay? I want you to think of a 2-dimensional square.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine that in your mind. Okay, now imagine a 3-dimensional square, which is a cube.
Yep.
You can do that. Now imagine a 4th-dimensional square.
Yeah. No idea.
No fucking idea. But there's certainly more than 3 dimensions to this universe. Most certainly there should be. Yeah. Right? So we have chosen to live on such this limited fucking plane with limited knowledge and limited experience, right? And so anytime anybody ever tells you, I know, no, you fucking don't. Nobody knows. You can't know. We have such limited perception of the thing we're experiencing right now. We could be in a fucking simulation. We could be in a VR set. We don't fucking know.
Yeah. So this is a great point, man. So Carrie, I'm gonna bring up Carrie real quick.
Yeah.
So Me and Carrie got into a spat because she don't believe in aliens. Now I'm gonna put this out there. You said a good point that it may not be directly related, but I think about it. So we can't fathom the size of the universe. When you actually look at the number of estimated planets, which is just an estimate, it's like down the page, like zeros down the page, right?
Yep.
It's like a number that we don't even have a name for.
Yep.
There is more planets in the universe than grains of sand in like 10 billion Earths.
Yep.
And I'm like, if you just use the laws of averages, there are billions and billions and billions of planets that have life on them. There's actually a high chance that there's a planet out there that has a guy named Cody and a guy named Boogie on it having a conversation right now.
Right, having this exact conversation almost identically.
It's very high chance because there's, and people will say, well, I still don't believe we haven't. And I'm like, that's because you can't fathom how big you're fathoming the universe like a dog fathoms his backyard.
Right.
You're like, damn, look at all this. Like, you have no idea. Like,
the dog has no idea what the fuck China is.
Like, right? You have no idea. It is so big that there isn't even a word for it. It's so vast and it's scary, and people they don't want to think about it because it's fucking terrifying.
And then when you start looking into quantum mechanics and string theory, it gets so much fucking bigger.
Yeah.
It becomes infinitely bigger because you live in an almost infinitely vast universe, and then there's an infinite number of those universes. Fuck.
Yeah.
Right?
And you'll say, a lot of people will say, well, I know there's a lot of planets, but they still in their mind see 12 or 11.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they know, but they see when they have these thoughts, they see only that, or maybe they see only the Andromeda galaxy. They don't realize that the Milky Way galaxy has millions of they don't even, and that's the small little freaking cluster we're in. They don't even realize how much it is. And see, Carrie's doing it again in the chat because she can't fathom. And I get it. Like, I get it. She's like, goofy green men don't exist. You didn't ask about an alternate reality. I'm not talking about an alternate reality. There is the vast number of planets is so large that there is probably a planet in this reality, motherfucker, that has a Cody and a Boogie talking about this shit. That's what I'm saying. The number is so big that you can't even fucking fathom how big it is. And so, yes, there is other life. There is probably billions and billions and billions of planets with life on it right now. It's just we can't contact.
There is one thing you might be forgetting, and actually, Kyrgyzstan, the people who made like the video about the egg theory. They actually brought this up the other day. We might actually be alone in the universe because the universe is so new. It's so brand new. We might actually be one of the first sentient species, or one of the first species to leave their planet, or one of the first species to think. But it doesn't mean there won't be, like, the universe is going to be around for billions and billions and billions and billions of years, trillions of years.
Yeah.
So there's going to be plenty of opportunity for that Cody and that Boogie to exist. It might not just exist now, but then, like, not only you're saying infinite number of planets, infinite number of suns, infinite number, huge universe, add time to the equation, and there most certainly is another Boogie and Cody.
That's
most
what I'm saying.
Certainly.
Well, there's other planets, other galaxies that time isn't running the same for them, depending on their location, depending on how close they are to a black hole, stuff like that.
Yep.
So it could be advanced as fuck. So that's a great point, though. And I think we just speak about just Earth for a moment. Earth has been around for an estimated 7 billion years, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
My theory, and there's nothing backing this theory except for my hopes and dreams, and I think it's a fun theory, is humans have been around a lot longer than we think, and civilizations have risen and fallen a lot longer than we think.
And there's a lot of evidence to say that that's probably true.
We've probably been close to this technological advancement before, if not past it.
Yep.
It's just we have no evidence of it, so we just assume that we were first. And I feel like that's something that it's something that we can't help but do, is we assume we're first, because again, we're the best, Boogie. We are God.
Yeah, of course.
We're the best. So nothing can come before our asses. That'd be dumb. So I think it comes. Matt himself says there's an estimated 100 billion planets in the Milky Way. 2 trillion galaxies estimated. Like, it's just so damn much.
And like, here's the thing: when you say 2 trillion to a person, when you say trillion, like, most people do not even understand the insane difference between million and billion.
Yeah.
They can't even comprehend million, a lot of people. But if you look down and you look at the, like, actually equated how big a pile of money is compared to $1 million to $1 billion. What a billionaire is, what a billionaire is a 1,000 millionaires is what a billionaire is.
Yeah.
It's incomprehensible. When you get to trillions, the human brain can't even fucking imagine what that looks like.
Yeah. Like if you put it actually in a visual, you have $1 million can fit in a cardboard box. $1 trillion takes up like almost an entire city stacked up.
Yeah.
Like it's different. But people, like you said, they can't fathom it. And I feel like that's the issue is you have a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with it, but their mind is not equipped to fathom certain things. And I call them normies. I call them bitches normies. It's every white girl, and it just so happens Carrie's a white girl, so it makes sense. It makes sense in the chat.
Yep.
See, I'm disagreeing with Carrie right now, bitch. Do something. I disagreed with her on Twitter the other day. This is now. See, this isn't. It was like a month ago. She messaged my ass. She's like, "You motherfucker, like you a bitch. I hate you." And I was like, "Oh my god, I was a joke." The joke, Carrie. She said something real dumb, and I just like quote tweeted it, and I was like, "You dumb son of a bitch." And she got pissed at me, and I'm like, "I'm giving you clout, baby. I retweeted your shit, and I called you a dumbass, and that's a good thing." That's actually, dude, that's a great question to ask you. When you see a damn documentary pop up from a channel that has a gajillion like subs, and you know it's about to get the most views, fucking fathomable, like millions of views first day. Like when you see it's like BOOGIE2988, the rise and fall. Like, do you get excited or do you get like worried?
Okay, so first off, what we're really talking about here is Sunny V2.
Oh yeah,
and fuck him for his take about Mr. Beast and Chris. Okay,
yeah.
I had very little respect for that man prior to that video. Now that he put that video out in the world, I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. That said, he likes to make a video about me every 3 months or so. And he has a good time doing it, and he gets a lot of money doing it and a lot of views, and that's okay. And it used to scare the shit out of me back when I had like making a good 6 figures on YouTube and like had like a good life and a good reputation. It used to scare the shit out of me. I'm like, I'm going to lose everything because of this asshole. Especially when I watch the thing and it's filled with lies and misinformation and bullshit. When I get stuff wrong, I'm like, why the fuck are you telling 7 million people this thing that's clearly not fucking real? And like, talk to me about it. Talk to the other people involved. Right? It's fucking frustrating. Now, when he does that shit, I'm like, oh, I'm relevant again. Let's go. All right. Like there's nothing to lose anymore. So there's nothing to be afraid of. I was afraid of losing shit. I was afraid of like one of these guys believing the lies and bullshit in those videos and eventually showing up at my front door. Well, we got past that hurdle. So we're good. Yeah. We are good, you know?
Yeah, that's how I'd be. I'd just be excited because, like, like I said, I don't give a damn about nothing. Like, I just don't care. Like, I love the people that support me. I don't deserve the people that support me. Like freaking, like Disco Cobra here dropping shit every 2 seconds, super chats. If he never did that shit again, I talk to him every day. I have people I talk to in my DMs that have never super chatted me once, and I've talked to him for 2 to 3 years consistently.
Yeah.
And as long as those people are hanging out with me and they're being my friends, I'll keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if Sony V2 made a video about me, which I don't know what the hell he'd say, really, to be honest. But if he made a video about me, I'd just be excited. I'd be like,
talk about that fucking mustache and how bad he wants to sit on it. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of the thing with the Chris thing, that's one thing that's getting kind of frustrating is people are conflating two things, and it's almost unavoidable now because of what I said earlier. Normies, is you have the Chris dude transition, and that's fine. Fuck it, he's an adult. I don't give a god. Do what you want to do, man. Do whatever makes you feel more comfortable.
Of course.
And you know, it's fine with me. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me at all. Like if it was a content creator I liked, I'd probably still watch. I don't care. Like I have people that have been in my chat that have transitioned since I started doing YouTube, and I still talk to them. I don't care. The issue is people are conflating is there's a lot of like influencers on TikTok and other people that want to bring small children like into this realm, and that's the only thing I disagree with. And I think that's a reasonable disagreement. But there's people that label all those people that are like, I just don't want my kids involved. They label them as transphobes, which
right, yeah.
And on the other end of the spectrum, as backlash, now anybody that transitioned is shit on because of people be like labeling everybody as one thing. Like, it's like, well, I don't like the Chris guy transitioning, and it all was born out of the idea that I didn't want children involved, and now they can't separate the two, and it's getting kind of frustrating. Like, why would anybody care? Like, I saw one of Mr. Beast's videos had like 50% dislikes, man. I'm like, what the fuck? Who cares what this dude are like? They this is how they want to be. Fuck it. So weird. Like, it's fuck it.
I genuinely okay. I want to fucking out myself as super fucked. You got a super chat that I want to read real quick, okay?
Where's it at? Which one?
Slaglust.
Slaglust.
This is so funny. It says, how does it feel that no matter how much you feel you've fallen into irrelevancy, you're still miles ahead of Ethan Ralph? He's in a death spiral worse than you've ever been in. Salute to Boogie2988. I don't really care about the 1488 thing anymore. You can call me that if you fucking feel the need. But that said, yeah, it's been wild watching Ethan Ralph fucking self-destruct. And it's so funny because almost everyone I've ever beefed with, I've survived. I still make money at this job. People still watch what I do. People still watch what I create. And these people fall farther than I am. And every time it happens, I'm just like, maybe you suck more than I do. And it's very rewarding to me. Yeah. It's very rewarding to me to see people that like fucked with my life, fucked with my career, fucked with me, getting their due, and I'm still here, and I've still got fans, and I've still got supporters, and I love it. But talking about trans shit for a second, okay? Yeah. I'm a 48-year-old man, and the very first trans person I ever met was when I was in Upward Bound, and Rocky, I usually call her Rocky. He was pretty unique, and I'll just be honest with you, it does something to my brain. There's a lot of, when people are transitioning, I look at it, and I'm like, that is very weird to me, and I don't really like to see it or look at it. And like when eventually, after a while, like I just see you as the thing you're transitioning to, the man or the woman that you're becoming, right? But during the early transition phase, I get why it like freaks people out a little bit and upsets people a little bit because there's a part of my lizard brain that goes, ooh. When my friend Emily transitioned, when she first started transitioning, I felt, and I've told her this, I felt that little tickle in the back of my head. Now that said, I work with Emily. I talk to Emily. I love Emily. Me and Emily are always going to be friends. I was friends with her before she was Emily. I'm friends with her now. I'll keep hiring her. I'll keep getting her to do my thumbnails. Man, I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. But I understand why people freak out a little bit in that regard. But how it goes from there to they're all pedophiles that are coming after our children, like, what the fuck? What kind of logic leaps are you making? And like, in my opinion, like, I'm against like surgery for people under the age of 18. I don't want any fucking mastectomies or bottom surgeries or anything like that. And I'm a little iffy on the data when it comes to puberty blockers. But in my opinion, if a doctor and a therapist and a parent and the child all agree that this medicine is the right medicine for that child, I don't see how the fuck I should be involved. Like, let them do what the fuck they want to do. If the doctor, the therapist, the parent, and the child all fucking agree. I just don't understand why people get so mad. I don't understand why people get so upset. I can't comprehend it. It's not you. It's not your child. It's not your life. So shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah. The only thing I disagree on is I agree with the majority, and I think most people agree with that, especially surgeries. The issue is, especially in our country, is a doctor and a therapist is 100% going to recommend that no matter what, because it's what we used to call at GameStop, a customer for life. There is so much freaking revenue in being like,
wow, I've never thought of that.
We can put you on this medicine for 40 years. We can charge you 38 grand for this procedure. And we are really in favor of insurance paying for it, because then we can negotiate higher prices. And suddenly this operation is 100 grand. And if I was a doctor or I was a dean of medicine, you best believe I'd be all for that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it. I think there needs to be a hard line in the sand at 18 years old. And depending on the state, maybe 16 could be a conversation, but no, can't do it. 18, fuck that. Like, or like I just can't fathom putting a child on
I
medicine.
mean, again, I just because I don't have the data, and so I agree. More research needs to be done before we're doing it frequently, or as like the default option or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That said, when you turn 18, I think you should be able to do whatever the fuck. If you could take a bullet for Uncle Sam, you should be able to take a fucking puberty blocker shot. If you can take a bullet for Uncle Sam, you should be able to eat what you want, smoke what you want, fuck what you want, do what you want. If you can die for this fucking country and you want to cut your tits off, cut them off. But that said, prior to 18,
as long as you're 18, I could give two shits. Like, and I've never even thought about this shit before until like 6 months ago, when all of a sudden it started rolling downhill. And like, I have to put myself in the situation. That's the only thing I can do. When I was 9 years old, it's actually 7 years old is now the recommended age for puberty blockers. But let's just say
7. I thought it was like 12.
There's a new report. There's a new report like a month ago.
Oh, I had no clue about that. Fuck that.
7 and 9 years old.
Fucking 7. Like, dude, if I was making choices about my body and my life at 7, I would be like a fucking purple dinosaur. Like, what the fuck? What?
That's literally what I was gonna say. When I was 9 years old, like, man, I don't even know what I'd do. Could you imagine if I made a life-altering forever decision at 9? There is no freaking telling what I'd be right now.
Yeah, no way.
But then I got like 14 and my pee-pee like started tingling when I saw ass cheeks of girls. And I was like, this is what I want, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even when I was 14, 16, I was dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, I just think there just needs to be a hard line in the sand. Yeah, maybe some people would be better off. There's probably a few people that would be better off if they went down that route. But like, people will spout, well, there's a study that shows like suicide rates, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, what needs to happen in these situations is there needs to be therapy and parents involved. And we will, look, if this is what you want, we will nurture it. And we will look towards when you become 18 or 16, and depending on the state, like whatever happens if it's federal or state level. But once we get to this point, you know, when you turn 18, 16, we make the decision. And if you still feel this way after therapy, years of therapy, all this shit, if you still feel this way, then, you know, we'll go that route. And I see nothing wrong with that. But the issue is there is a new person every single day on Twitter, on YouTube, talking about how they're a 19-year-old girl or a 20-year-old girl, and they got a mastectomy at like 13 or 14. And they were on puberty blockers, and they have like it's like a woman that has like a manly voice. And she's like crying on camera, like, why did no one fucking stop me? What the fuck's going on? You just let me do whatever I wanted. And and people say that this isn't happening, Boogie. This is the most important thing, is when you say this, it's like, you're like, well, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. No one's doing that. And I'm like, well, there's no laws against it. There's literally no laws in the books that prevents this from happening. And the states that are doing it, there's people marching. Why? Because they want these to be an option for children. And it's all for the wrong reasons, because TikTok is a great example. You'll see a creator every single day popping up on TikTok, and they're transitioning their 3-year-old, and they get 1 million followers in like a week. They're like, we're transitioning our 3-year-old.
Wow, really?
She played with the Barbie, so she's a boy now. And I'm like, that kid had no chance. They're fucked. They're fucked.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I would like to prevent. And now, look, I don't have a way to prevent anything, but other than speaking what I think should happen. Now, and I never really talked about any of that shit ever, because I had 2 trans people working for me when I was at GameStop. When I was a manager, I hired them. Did a fucking cool ass, but didn't go fuck.
Yeah.
I have no problem with people doing whatever the hell they want. Shit, if I had a dude that looked like Wings show up in a dress and was like, I won't work for you, I'm a girl, I'd be like, that's a little weird, but whatever, fuck it. You know, I don't care.
Yeah.
But as soon as people were like, start bringing children in, I'm like, all right, stop this shit. You gotta stop this shit right now, because like that's what civil war is fought over. You know?
Yeah, you were informing us of stuff that I had not really, like, I've always been against surgical options for kids, right? And I've always been a little hesitant when it comes to puberty blockers, because there's proof that as an adult, some people can't revert if they change their mind, right?
Yeah.
So like puberty blockers, if they are doing permanent damage, maybe we have to wait, right? That's been my opinion for a while. But when you talk about fucking transitioning your child at 3, you're as a parent, you're failing that child.
It's a vegan cat. The only reason a vegan cat exists is because their owner made it a vegan cat. Otherwise, they'd eat tuna and shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just how it is. And the biggest issue is puberty blockers for young boys. When they go on them, there is side effects that are pretty much guaranteed. One of these side effects, there's a possibility for sterilization, but one of these side effects that is almost guaranteed in reports that almost get wiped half the fucking time is, and they accidentally tell them themselves at the end of it, but they'll say there's an extremely high chance that boys that get on puberty blockers will have micro penises for the rest of their life. So that's fucking terrifying. But when you see these reports, they're almost hard to find nowadays. But at the end of the report, you'll see that when males that are transitioning get of age and they have a gender reassignment surgery, there isn't enough penile skin to form a vaginal canal.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Why is there not enough penile skin? It's because they had a micropenis.
Yeah.
Imagine having a micropenis. Like, I'm pretty damn close, but like, imagine being like a 30-year-old man and you have like a centimeter penis. Like, dude, I would swallow a gun so damn fast. God damn,
dude. I mean, I have a micro penis and I hate being alive. Honestly, it's
I
so small I can't fuck. That's it's an innie instead of an outie. Okay, so I can relate to the. Here's what I will say. Okay, this is where one of those instances, like I got told a long time ago that I have white cis male privilege, and I have the ability to not think about the stuff and not talk about the stuff and not have to experience it. And you know what? By God, since I have so much work to do on my own life, I have so much work to do on my own mind, my own body, I'm evoking that white fucking privilege, white cis privilege right now. I don't want to think about it. I want to be fucking involved with it. I want to fucking deal with it. I need to fix Boogie. I can't fix the trans community. I can't fix what the fucking this is happening to children. I'm fucking fuck it. I'm worried about me and I'm going to focus on me. And then if I get myself figured out, then we can fight for the fucking kids.
Hell yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm so confused sometimes when people make this like a huge part of their personality or what they're doing online. Like, I get it. If you're trans, you got to fight for your own rights and shit like that. I get all of that. But like, people are like anti this shit. Like, they make it a huge part of their identity. That's weird to me. Clearly, you and I are not entirely on the same page here, right? But this isn't a huge talking point for you. This isn't a thing you're talking about every day. This isn't a big deal for you, right? Like, so I enjoy talking to you about it. It's the people that are like, I am anti-trans. It needs to go on my fucking Twitter bio. I need to tweet about it 9 times a day.
Yep.
Fuck those people. Those people confuse the shit out of me.
And what are they? They're normies. And I think one thing we agree on together is white dudes are the best. Get on it, doggone it. Woo! Hell yeah. You hear that? Is Lord Zero in here? He's a black dude. You hear that? No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Fire PA. Says doctors may not even support it out of malice. When you have a hammer, everything becomes a nail. Surgeons love to cut. Best surgeons know when to stop. You right about that. Noah Sanders says, do no harm. And the whole Hippocratic Oath no longer applies. Boogie, you should look up some of the young women who have detransitioned after being groomed, their words, into changing their identity. What is that? I'll throw out a TV show or movie. I think it was a TV show. It was I forget what it was called, but it was about that girl. Her name was like Pixie or Roxy or Lucy or something, or Rosie, and her mother made her be ultimate, like she had like 90 ailments, right? And she had her on all kinds of medicines, but there was actually nothing wrong with her. It's called The Act, I think, and it was about that one girl that killed her mother because her mother was basically like making money off of Munchausen's by proxy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the biggest thing is Munchausen by proxy is what is making all these very young children transition. It's because their parents are like pressuring them into doing it because they want the clout. They want to do all that shit. And that's what's pushing, because there's the reason why this exists, Munchausen by proxy. So thank you, Noah Sanders, for your Orange Boy. Weeaboo Desu. Carrie said that was cringe, talking about white dudes being great. Yeah, well, eat my ass, Carrie. How about that? How about that, Carrie? What's your preference? White dudes? Yeah, that's what I thought. We've talked about this. Eat my ass. Weeaboo Desu says, if I had a son that liked playing with Barbies and wearing dresses, I'd leave it at that. And if they came trans, I would want them to see a therapist and doctor. Just say they be sure. So I don't know how I'd react. It's really, really hard to put myself in that situation. Now, I don't have any children that are around me. But what
I've thought that through. I have an opinion if you would like to hear it.
Shoot it. Yeah,
okay?
shoot it.
All right. So I'm not a parent. I never wanted to be a parent. Too much fucking responsibility, terrifying, scary. I was fucked up as a kid. I don't want to accidentally fuck up my kids. I've said that a million times. Somehow people equate that with like me wanting to fuck my children, which is insane to me, but whatever. That's what they say. I don't know why. But here's what I'm saying is I know I got screwed up as a kid. I don't want to accidentally screw up another human life. I wanted to end the cycle. So chose not to have kids. But if I had a kid and one day my kid's like, hi, Dad, I know I was born a male, but I really like girl toys. I'm like, play with your fucking girl toys. I don't care. I'll buy them. Dad, I like dressing like a girl. Cool. Let's dress as a girl. Oh, Dad, they bully me at school for dressing like a girl. Well, that sucks, man. Let's learn this together. Let's go through it together. Dad, I think I am a girl. Okay, well, I guess that I'll call you. Want me to use those pronouns? I'll use those pronouns. I'll do whatever the fuck it is you want to do. Okay, like I'll support you as 100%. All right, well, Dad, I need therapy for this. Let's get into therapy for it. Dad, I think I want to take puberty blockers. My therapist thinks that's the right thing. Well, let's get a second fucking opinion. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to a second therapist and let's give it some time. And let's give it as much time as we can. And then at the 0 hour, if you're still sure and I'm still sure and the doctor's still sure and 2-3 therapists are all sure and they're afraid that I'm going to have a dead child instead of one with puberty blockers because you're going to fucking kill yourself, I guess we're going to go through it. The way I would approach it is I would approach it with, I just want to love and support my child. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
This is the life my child is choosing. And I'll try to make it as careful for them as I can by going through as many checks and balances. I think it's super fucked up when the parent is like trying to tell them what to feel. Yeah. Tell them how they are. That's not your fucking job as a parent. Your job is to create a safe barrier and safe life for your child to experience and grow shit and figure shit out for themselves. You ain't figuring it out for them. That's some narcissistic shit. That's abusive. That's fucking abusive. Don't tell your child what they are. And I don't care if you're telling them they're trans or you're telling them that they're Christian or telling them whatever the fuck it is you're telling them. Don't tell your kids what they are. Let your kid figure it out and help them with it. And they're going to go through a lot of different phases. Maybe that son one day wakes up and decides he's a man and now he really likes fucking NASCAR and he wants to pump iron or whatever. Like, okay, I'm just going to help you through all of it. That's what I would do as a parent. That was the parent I needed. That's the parent I needed.
That's the best thing you could probably do. And there's still one little tinge of an issue. What happens when your son who transitioned is 23 and they call you and they're going through a real rough time? And they've already transitioned and they're like, Dad, why the fuck did you let me do this? And then you have a whole other can of worms. Like, oh shit. But that's the best you can do is just do everything you can to support. Drama alert, by the way, says Boogie versus Wings, May 13th, 2023.
Hell yeah.
23, bro.
Can't wait to see it.
Excited.
You know you're gonna have a good time.
Exciting. So excited. Now if I could just fight DSP next, let's go.
Dude, I would kill to watch you fight Phil. Holy shit. Phil, I'm going to shit talk Phil for a second, okay?
Let's do it.
And I'm fucking sorry, Phil, if you see this. I hope you really fucking don't, okay? But, like, a lot of people are telling me, oh, Boogie, you're the crazy one because you're, like, afraid to get in the ring. Boogie, you're the crazy one because you're working with Keemstar. Boogie, you're Wings, you're the fucking crazy one for doing this crazy shit. This is crazy. No, Darkside Phil's the fucking crazy one because he chooses the nothing. He chooses the comfort. He chooses the path of the least resistance. It might look crazy from Darkside Phil's perspective to get in the ring and risk my implants, to risk my fucking life. Okay. But to me, it seems crazy to want to sit on your couch for the rest of your life and bitch about the people who don't donate enough to you as you play fucking Mario 3 for the 100th fucking time. That's crazy to me. That shit's crazy to me. So if you're willing to fight Phil, get Phil's ass up and Phil, fucking do something, man. Make a change. You know you aren't fucking happy. I'm out here making changes. Wings out here making changes. Phil, make some fucking changes, man.
He just doesn't want to. All he's gonna do is he's gonna be like, so I've been playing this game for 2 hours, guys. I don't really even like the game, and you haven't donated anything, so I don't really want to finish this stream, to be honest, because you guys are not supporting at all. So yeah, I'm gonna go masturbate with my camera on.
Dude, I live stream all the time. And when I fucking live stream, I make a fraction of what you made tonight. And I don't give a fuck because I'm not there for the donations. I'm not there for the money. I love it. Thank you. Give me money. I like it. But that's not why I'm live streaming. It seems like that's why Phil is so miserable. He's not having fun live streaming. It's fun to live stream. It's fun to make content. It's fun to make podcasts. I'm having fun doing the thing I'm doing. If I make money, that's also great. If Phil, you're not having fun, make some fucking changes, buddy.
Yeah. See, you know what who'd be a good opponent? A donut operator. He's one of my boys.
Ooh, that'd be good.
I've had him on my show before. He's one of my boys. I think that'd be fun. He'd probably kick my ass. He seems kind of like a badass. Well, he was a cop at one point too. He'd probably beat the hell out of me. But yeah, dude, I like him a lot. That's the kind of parenting we need. What did Keem say? It popped up. What the hell is it? He said DSP level 1, Boogie and Wings level 2.
Bingo. Hell yeah.
Yeah, because he wouldn't do the freaking show.
Yeah, wouldn't even do the fucking show with us. Like, he's so afraid of Keemstar. Like, Keemstar's gonna fucking bite him. Like, okay, like I told Keemstar, I interviewed Keemstar. I have a podcast, Power of the Internet, and I talked to Keemstar, and I called Keemstar, you kind of fucking suck. I said that to his face. And yeah, sometimes he fucking sucks. That's reality. We all kind of fucking suck. And sometimes Keemstar sucks more than the rest of us. That's true. And I understand Phil's hesitancy, but you cost 2 other people a fucking paycheck. You cost yourself a fucking paycheck. And Keem was trying to help. He ain't trying to fucking hurt us. He's trying to help. He's trying to give us a show. He's trying to give us a platform. He's trying to give us a fucking paycheck, Phil. Let the guy do one good fucking thing for you. You know?
It's crazy to me, man. I'd let you stick a finger in my ass for 10 grand. I don't give a damn.
I mean, he was talking $50K to do that fucking podcast.
Damn.
$50K to do that podcast, and Phil's like, nope, not if Keemstar is involved. Fuck you. $50K pay off your house. You stop bitching about your taxes, Phil. Do your fucking job.
That's like, look, I'm a sellout. Like, if somebody told me, I said this the other day. Well, I said this a couple years ago. Somebody was like, if Trump offered you like $10 million, would you suck his penis? And I was like, I'd suck it twice.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I'd fucking fricassee it. I'd eat it. That's $10 million. Good Lord.
Boogie. Oh, look at that guy in the Ferrari. You see him? He sucked Trump's penis. I'm gonna roll down the window and agree with you, and I'm gonna suck it again, bitch.
Yeah, I like money.
The money.
I like money. And anybody out there tells you they don't, they're fucking lying, because money is used to procure goods and services. Yep. And you like the goods and you like the services. So shut the fuck up. When I ask for money, when I create something that I think is worth money, when I ask people to give money for the thing I created, shut the fuck up about it. You would do the same if you were me. You would do the same. You do the same every day. You walk into fucking Walmart. You're doing the same thing when you work there,
Yeah, it says if Phil got paid $50,000 to do that show, then he'd lose the ability to beg for money, and he wants to beg for money on stream. Well, that's the grift, right? So if he makes this money, then he can't be like, oh, I can't pay my mortgage, I can't buy the new game, guys. I'm sorry, I can't play the game you wanted me to play because you didn't donate tonight. I can't even afford the game. So that's actually very accurate. It would destroy the grift 100%. Yep.
I saw a clip of him in my feed. I don't watch anything Phil does, but I saw a clip of him, and he's like, well, I'll just tell you, I'm fucked no matter what happens, because I started the DLC and I see people bitching. And then if I start the game over with New Game Plus, I know you guys are going to bitch. But if I change the game and I play a different game, I know you guys are going to bitch. Why are you doing this to yourself at that point? Just play a game you like. Who gives a shit what people are complaining about? Don't listen to the people that complain. Just play a game you like, Phil. Like, how miserable. You're choosing to be miserable. I've been there, so I know you're choosing misery, Phil. Stop.
It's the state that he feels comfortable in. I watch every video that It's Gundam. Still hasn't come on my show, damn it. He's supposed to, but I watch every one of his videos talking about DSP, and it's just that's his comfortable state, is being miserable and awful, and that's what I feel like. That's what Drama Alert said. It's just he wants the ability to beg him for money. He doesn't want money.
That's a man who needs to take some fucking psychedelics. And when he's done, I tell you, he'll get in the fucking ring. I promise you.
One with the universe.
How amazing is it that I get to stand up in front of all these people and fight, getting to my first fight, other than fighting with my mom and getting hit in the face by her, and getting into one fight in high school where I just let a guy beat me and I didn't even try to hit him back.
Yeah.
This is the first, how amazing is it to be able to go in there and meme and fucking have a good time and get paid to do it.
Yeah.
And Phil's like, oh no, I'm afraid. Oh, I'm so spooky.
Yeah, I emailed him to come on this show, and I never thought he would respond, and he didn't, because I was on Side Scrollers podcast with my boy, and he's coming on my show here soon, probably this week as well. And I think you're going on his show Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great dude. And he had DSP on. I was like, man, I'll get DSP on. But I know I drill him a little. I drill him a little for fun, because you got to. Tennessee Marine. I used to call him Mariner. Oblivion in the background. Dude, I'm glad you're here, Tennessee Marine. I love you. I missed you, baby. I hope you're doing well. Has that always been on? No, only for like the last 2 weeks. We're going to do some Naked Snake real quick. Thank you, Ashley. She dropped another $10 in locals, and so did CC. I appreciate you. We're going to do Naked Snake, and then I'm going to go over all these super chats. And then we will close it out. So let's do some Naked Snake for the boys.
All right, walk me through Naked Snake. Am I just taking my shirts off and playing with my titties? Because I feel like that's what I'm doing.
Yes. So once we get to the chorus, that's when we rip our shirts off. Oh, hopefully Keem will see it, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Keem will love that shit.
Keem, you're gonna see these titties in real life. You better get a preview tonight, baby.
It says I will personally be roasting DSP to the dude. I'm gonna watch the shit out of that. Oh my god. Hey, Wookie be bad. Dislike and views still drive more views. Ignore it if it's against your views. Wallets extend beyond the money you spend. Riders Guild strikes tomorrow. I heard about that, dude. Wookie be bad. I'm glad you're here, man. I love you, dude. Appreciate you. We got close to a rainbow night. We only missed the red boy, but we hit everything else. I appreciate you guys, and I love you, Wookie be bad. Let's do some Naked Snake. Here we go. It's time, boys. Once the chorus hits, we're gonna pull off our shirts. It'll be a good time. Can you hear this?
Oh yeah, very well.
It's that time, boys. There's a different one.
Yeah, here's the doobie. He wanted to be on stream. Everybody say hi to Leo. He's basically the devil.
All right. This is my grift time now, bitches. You guys, we get ready for this. All right. This is for Disco Cobra. Dedicated to the Disco Cobras. Here we go. I'm going to pop my headset off for 2 seconds. And then we're going. Don't forget Rumble. Thank you, Sonia. Here we go.
What a thrill with darkness and silence through the night. I'm searching.
Here we go.
Melting to you.
It's that time, boys. Ready, Boogie?
Oh yeah.
Ripping the shirt off. Here we go, boys. Get on it, doggone it. Let's go. Yeah.
Not for honor, but for
Yeah. Snake eater in my time. There be nobody else. Get it, boys. Cry. It's the way
Don't lick my nipples.
I
Don't lick my nipples.
you.
Don't lick my nipples.
I'm still in a dream. Snake eater. Hell yeah.
Oh my God, those pecs. Good Lord. Good God.
It's a trial to survive. For the day.
Oh my God. Get the hell on it. These are give my life. Not for honor, but for you. In my time, there be nobody else. Cry, it's the way I fly to you. Hot diggity damn, I'm still in a dream. Snake eater. Amazing job, boys. 153 strings in a row. My God, look at that, man. Woo. Hell yeah. See you guys.
Ooh. God, the tits on you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Amazing job. Even though I didn't get a happy birthday, hold on. I did not know. I saw it in locals and then totally freaking spaced. Happy birthday, Ashley. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ashley. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Now eat my ass. I love you. Appreciate you guys so much tonight. Cody's got nicer tits than me. I work out chest like 3 times a week. And I'm going to do a 100 push-up challenge for a month with Nick Ricada.
Could you bench press me, do you think?
Am I allowed to ask how much you weigh?
Right around 400.
Like even?
Yeah, right, real close.
Yeah, I could bench you.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I don't know, but body's moving shit. I can do it with a bar.
No, you're going to have, I'm going to get on top of you and let's see if you survive, daddy.
I'm like, come on. Yeah, dude. That'd be fun. Let me go through this real quick. We're gonna go through the super chats real quick. The only one missing was the illustrious Red Boy. That Red Boy, he's hard to come by. Did they reach Fight Milk? Mr. Nervous Wreck, quarterings, purple feet boils. No, we got close though. We were 310 away. Pretty close. Legal Vices, Samantha Bullock, Mav Dick, The Squid, Trent Westbrook, Flux, my baby, Billy Hatcher, Legal Vices again. Damn, Legal Vices gave me 2 gold boys. I appreciate you, dude. Ashley, of course. Russell Hall, Disco Cobra with a pink boy. Maps go on the damn wall. Damp Fear, Halo Millennium, Patrick Williamson with a pink boy. I love you, dude. I appreciate that, dude. Maps go on the wall again. Trad Beardsman, Fire PA, Katie did the podcast, Instagata, Billy Hatcher, XPS Gamer, Monkey Man, Gotcha Son, Patrick T, Karras, Patrick T, Richard, Lynn S, Richard, damn, there's so many. GZF, J Lucky, Patrick T, Helena, Disco Cobra, Patrick T, Disco Cobra, Wicked Virtue, Nitro, Black Ben, Slaglust. I can't believe how many there are. It's crazy. Patrick T, Noah Sanders, Jessica Reloaded, Helena, Grifty, Noah Sanders, Della Yellow, Gotcha Son, Grifty, Mr. Vigo, Kevin Javid, Steve Supers, Helena, Wrathchild, Guru Cypher, Kumar, Noah Sanders, Slaglust, Fire PA, Noah Sanders, damn, Noah Sanders, goddamn, man. We have Boo Desu, Avocado Cookie, Wookie Be Bad. Ashley, appreciate you guys so much. Dude, that's crazy. It's crazy damn support tonight. But most of all, let's thank Mr. Boogie2988. Good luck on your fight, dude. We'll keep in touch. We have been keeping in touch for years. So
absolutely, man. And we're doing Southeast Game Exchange, so I'll see you then for sure. And I'm going to make you bench press me. Do you hear me? I'm gonna get on top of you. I'm gonna ride you all the way home. You better work the fucking arms, dude. You better work those arms, because I'm gonna crush you. Listen to me, Hulk Hogan. When I come to your house, I'm gonna take a shit in your toilet, and I'm not gonna flush.
The cream rises to the top.
The cream. Oh my God, I lost my voice last week and my throat's still sore.
It
broke it.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. You guys can check the replay on here. It'll be live on the channel. And Wednesday, I haven't announced it yet, but we'll have somebody on Wednesday. Saturday is going to be Good Logic. Friday, I'll be on Friday Night Tights. So it's going to be crazy as hell, boy. So we're going to go ham. It's going to go well. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for all your damn support. And don't forget, don't miss the fight. What day is it, Boogie?
What, May 13th.
Damn.
Watch it on the Drama Alert channel.
Bro.
It's going to be a good time. Watch me either break Wing's face or die trying.
Die trying.
Mm-hmm.
Rock on.
Thanks for having me, Cody. Appreciate you, buddy.
See you guys later. Appreciate you. I'll see you on the next video coming out here in a day or so. Get the hell on it. Diggity.
Bye, everybody.